Hey everybody, and happy Friday. Back up redeem at least one more time with that current balance. Yeah, by the way, the secret is that I keep refunding these things. So that way other people in chat are like, whoa, everyone's got a ton of points in here. All right, let's edit the today command. I don't remember what I was talking about in the Wednesday one. Yeah, I think we'll drop the Skeller wrap stuff. Hey Stockton. Adam is having his friend play test the game on Sunday, so the goal today is to get the presentation of Skeleseller as polished as possible for that. Recent videos, Skeller wrap, yeah. 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 All right, cool. So, can't start the stream until the delivery. Yeah, that already happened. Number one task is the game ready for Sunday. Yep. So I worked on the game a little bit yesterday. No, sorry, I worked on the game a lot yesterday. I only did a little bit because I fixed the issue with the blurriness. So I shared this on Discord, so probably the people who are here already saw this. But if you look at the left side of any of these things, it's the blurry version, and then the right side is the crisp version. So here it's very obvious if you just look at the trees, or really any part of this picture, went from blurry to crisp. Here it's a little less obvious. This is zoomed in. These graphics look like they should probably be changed a lot, but not really. If you look at the grass, you'll see that here it's just crisp pixels, and here it's kind of fuzzy. And then down here, there are two major changes. The text, so you can see the word stealth just got a lot clearer, and the icon. Here the icon is kind of blurry. Here the icon is a lot cleaner. So this is in the game already. The short story of how we did this is we essentially resize these viewports to be double the size and then scale them down by half. That way there's more information to sample from. However, there are two caveats with this. One is that this is only needed if we're upscaling in the first place, but we're not conditionally doing this. So we're basically always applying this extra resolution. But if you have this thing set to 1x, there's no need to do this. So we use extra memory in that case. And in the case that you're doing more than 2x, then we're technically still rendering slightly blurrily. Also, this has been happening lately, and I'm not sure what's causing this. Oh, I think I know what's doing this. I think if you change the game scale without ever having opened the battle map, this happens. So if I open the battle map and then change the game scale, the battle map looks fine. Actually, wait, let me do that again. But let me do it from 1 to 3. So I open the battle map first, then I change the game scale. Then I open the battle map. No, it's broken. Okay, well then I'll just file a bug on that. The battle map looks bad after changing the game scale. Repro, launch the game with a game scale of 1x, i.e. do this ahead of time so that, yeah. Then open the battle map, change the game scale to 3x, open the battle map again. It'll look like this. Is it only from 1 to 3, or let's go check. So we start on 1, save, and quit. Oh, we don't need to hit save for that. All right, so open the battle map, settings, 2, save, battle map. Yeah. X. When going to 2x, it'll look like this. When going to 3x, it'll look like this. Hey, David. Let's get a picture of that. I probably don't need to save. I'm pretty sure I don't, but it's just one button click, so I might as well. Yeah, it's probably due to some viewport or some size thinking that it's like 2 by 2 and it's arranging everything at the minimum size. Although this one makes less sense why that would be happening. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so we got some bugs, and I thought of a great idea for a new perk that I want to implement. Oh, but before I forget this stuff, hang on, engage privacy mode. I want to get a thing really fast. Give me a sec. Okay, I got it. Okay, gonna need to listen for the scale changing to adjust the max size container after all. Issue I think is the margins are not updated. Gotcha. Yeah, I think it should hopefully be a quick bug to fix. What would a player do in that situation though? Could they close this and just open it again? No. And they can't resize the window. They need to either save and reload the entire game, or they would need to change the scale back, I guess. Yeah, so that is a bug worth fixing. Thankfully for Sunday, I don't think my friend's gonna deal with that. Our workers are walking over the farm. So let's go into farm. If we were to make a nav tile map here. The ideal thing that we do, because we have this nav layer. Well, the ideal thing we do is we just add another nav layer to this thing, right? And everything should just work. Let's try that out because it sounds really easy. Yeah. So let's go into environment and take this nav layer. So what makes this a nav layer? It's got collision enabled, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, let's just copy paste this into the farm. Why did that not work? Come on, really? Copy and paste. Okay, that worked. All right, now that's going to have all of that data, which I don't want. We are going to delete it all. Oops. There. And now we draw in the nav layers at the right spots. Nav is right there. We want the green one to indicate that this is going to change. So originally, all of these rocks have the nav layer on them, and probably this stuff too. Hey, Dabu. Yeah, as far as dynamically changing this stuff, this is going to be a little bit annoying. Adam Raps live, hey man. Navigation. Okay, so private nav layer. VS Code. Let's try again. What is going on right now? There it is. Yeah, weird. Okay, so this is a nav layer called navigation. And now depending on the size of the farm, we want to get rid of some of the tiles on here. Made my experience with Godot so much better. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'd like to try Rider out. I probably should give it a shot with just the free version. The problem I have is I think it'll address like basically like two things. I think I'll get profiling and I think I won't have to reload my editor all the time. But everything else I'm going to need to relearn in Rider. Is it my favorite and I'm stuck? Stuck with what? Okay, the thing we have to do that's kind of annoying here is we have to dynamically clear this out based on how many rocks we're clearing out. How do we... How do we... the crops are spread out a little bit. I was like, how do we clear out a 4x4 farm here? But we clear out this entire like L shape, and then the crops are spread out such that they actually kind of take up both of the squares that this rock is on, and then the remaining bit is all the rest of this. Spend so much time in JetBrains IDs. Yeah. Yeah, I've used JetBrains IDs before. I'm usually a tourist in them. So I just need to get to be efficient enough for like a week or two. Okay, so here's what we should do. We should have it pick the maximum XY coordinate to go up to. Yeah, that's what we should do. So set farm level is here. Create plots. And this has sizes here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so that's what we want to do. Clear nav layer. Don't we? No, we don't do anything. Okay, fine. That's fine. Private, void, clear nav layer. So what does it take in? Size of side of farm? And how does nav layer work? Turn off collision at a particular position. Okay, let's do this. So where do we start? We start here. I'm just going to make this over n squared. I mean, it's a square, so it makes sense to be over n squared. But we're going to end up clearing these tiles anyway, even though we don't have to, but that's okay. So no matter what, we're going to add 3 to the size of this. No, we're going to add 4 to the size of this. So what is the size of the farm to begin with? Size of side of farm. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we add 3. Yeah, we add 3. 2. No, we can't do that. No, yeah, we can't. Because one of these needs to clear 2 columns. 2 is this one. 3 is both of those. 4. This is so confusing. All right, let's just take a look in the game because I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I can't figure out what rocks get deleted, and it shouldn't be very hard. So when you first build the farm... Oh man, I didn't want to show those. Well, you can still see the rocks underneath them, so maybe that's okay. All right, so this is level 1. Then let's go get all of the other levels. This is level 2. They're all going to kind of look the same, but the rocks are changing underneath them. And then the next level. And the final level is just to remove them all. Although we probably still have nav tiles over there. All right, so what do we got here? That one's normal. We don't care about that. This, we got rid of these. Yes. And then this one we got rid of all the way down to here. Actually, they're also gone from there too. What happens if I build here? Yeah, that's a slightly better picture. Because it clarifies exactly where I need to draw this to. Do we clear out all of this? Do we also clear out that column? We could, I guess. They don't really align with the rocks. What is going on with that? Are these offset by a bit? Zero, zero. What? This should not be this hard. Are there rocks under this? No. What is causing this V to show up on top of a rock? That's what I don't understand. Does it look that way in the game? Yes, it does. Oh, the rock is going slightly onto a different tile. How is that happening? No, the nav tile's going on there? Is this? I don't I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why these aren't natural tile boundaries here. Huh. Like this aligns with the ground in the nav layer. And the rocks also align to this. So how is the V getting offset? Oh, wait, what's that? Rocks 3 are slightly to the side. Okay, okay, okay. I looked at one of the other rocks things. Every other set of rocks is... No, that's not even true. I was gonna say they're not offset at all. But definitely the third set of these, they are offset. All right, so do we want that? What if we just reverted this? Okay, so now they look like they're on the grass somewhat. Ah, and that's why they don't work. I see. And these. Yeah, okay, okay, I get it. I'm not totally sure what we want to do about this then. We could offset the nav layer. We could have multiple nav layers. Or I could just delete the tiles as needed. I'm not sure. I guess this just needs to be convincing enough. Actually, I guess we can kind of just cheat our way through this. We don't need to have all of this like nav wall here. All we would really need to do is we could get rid of all of these, for example, because there's no reason to go into this thing if there's just a wall there anyway. So if we deleted all of this, in fact, if we just did it like this, and then this part's never going to change, except for the crops could go there, right? I never want them walking. I never want them walking through here. Yeah. So this doesn't need to be here. And then this also doesn't need to be here. Okay, that drastically simplifies what we're trying to do here. Yeah, that's it. So we just have 5 tiles that we potentially have to, have to clean up. All right, so where are these? At 4, 0? We could just pass in the level. Yeah, I'll just put some if statements in here. I think that's fine. We could have it look up from a dictionary or something. I don't really care though. All right, so if level is equal to what, 1 or 0? What's the first level? Level is passed in set farm level. Set farm level is set to 0 by default. Yeah. So if level is set to 0, we don't do anything. If level is set to 1, then we're going to nav layer dot turn off collision. Oh, L9, long time no see. Thanks for the bits. How you doing? What's new? You were last here in January of 2024. Long time indeed. Yeah, what's up? All right, it's a new vector 2i. We want to set this to 4, 0. Or actually, I guess what we should do is if level is greater than or equal to 1. And then if it's greater than or equal to 2, then we turn off both of these. So 5 and 6. And then 7 and 8. There. Okay. All right, this is our kind of quick and hacky way of doing this. Let's see if it works. And then we need to eventually, inside of ready, hide the navigation altogether. Nav layer dot make them invisible. Yeah, but I don't want to do that yet. I'll get on my end, working a lot more responsibilities on my end, and Twitch has become very much less and less of my life, unfortunately. No, that makes sense. I think, one of the things I was what, last year? We went to Spain, my wife and we did the Camino de Santiago. And this, for people who don't know, it's I actually don't know how long it is. But anyway, it's some like multi-100 mile long walk. And I think we did 200 miles when we went our leg of it. And I think some people do up to like 300 or 400. Anyway, it's a super long walk. So you're walking for a crazy amount of distance every day. Um, when we went, we met a bunch of people, and I felt like almost all of them were in some kind of like transition period in their lives, because you don't just on a whim decide to walk 200 miles. Usually you prep for it. You finally got the space in your life to do it. So some people were going through breakups. Some people had just experienced death. There were a lot of like kind of negative transition things. And some people it was a positive thing. Like they were about to go to a new country and start a job. And they had this 1 month chunk of time where they could schedule the walk that they were going to do. I feel like they were in the right circumstances of their life for that to happen. And I kind of think the same thing about Twitch. I think that Twitch for a lot of people is like you're in a transition period. You're in school and you are looking at, I don't know, software and game dev to figure out what is it that people actually do professionally, or I don't know, you're gaming, you've got a lot of time. And then yeah, life picks up and it's like, well, time to drop Twitch. So it totally makes sense. I'm very much in a transition period. Well, a lot of responsibilities. Do you feel good about that stuff? Because I people can always take it in two different ways. Either they're overwhelmed or they're like, good, I'm getting new work, new tasks. All right, let's try this out. So we should see workers only go around this green area. So let's plant all the crops and make them grow. And then workers should come down here pretty soon. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so they just walked right through that. Oh, because I didn't add it to the right group? No, that's not true. Huh. Huh, indeed. The navigation isn't being considered. All we should care about is that it's in this group though. Navigation, polygon, source group. And then something looks for these, right? So don't remember how I ended up here? Still have nothing to do with any kind of software development. I think you came in through Kiboga. I'm not sure. But yeah, we've been working on Skeleseller. I guess you haven't seen any of this. Although, hang on, because I'm trying to fix something before I show you. This doesn't exist anymore. Isn't that impossible? I guess it's not impossible, but it is kind of weird that we're not using it anywhere. It must only be in a scene. Here it is. Source geometry group name. Huh. So what am I missing to allow this to work? Because I copy pasted. So whatever should have been there is there. Oh, you've been following me passively. Gotcha. Okay. So you already are aware. Incorporate item stacking graphic. Oh, why isn't this working? Oh, you know what we could try? We could try building the fishing pond. Maybe it's just a nav mesh thing. No, it's not a nav mesh thing. They're just ignoring these. How dare they? Huh. Well, what's different in environment then? I don't see anything different. Does it track chat messages or when I last viewed the stream? Because I'm pretty sure I've been on here 5 to 10 times. Oh, I was just looking at the built-in Twitch thing. So if you're a moderator and you click someone's name, and you could click your own name since you're a mod in here, you can see the messages. And I just scrolled up to see when was the last time you were here. And it said January 22nd. So yeah, it's not a me thing. It's a Twitch thing. Constant was used in the method that cleared tile maps. That was changed the other day. Oh. I wonder why this doesn't work. Huh. Maybe I never saved this? Oh, that's impossible, because then they wouldn't show up in the game. I don't know. I don't know what's causing this. Huh. Interesting. Okay, visible collision shapes. Let's see. It should change the green color on this slightly, although it's not going to because I guess it doesn't exist. Yeah, it's not making collision shapes here. Oh, maybe this is a problem with adding in tile map collision. Maybe the nav mesh needs some sort of update. God, I gotta turn off those sounds. Let's quit out of this. Does it work if you use the other nav tiles? No, it's not using collision shape on those either. So I think the problem is that we're adding in nav tiles after this thing has already been created. And I don't think we've ever done that before. Where is that? Oh man, come on, where is this? Here it is. This is the navigation polygon, source geometry group name. Is there some function when we call rebake navigation mesh that nav region dot bake? Is there anything that talks about the polygon? Force update transform. Connection. Oops, I don't know what just happened there. There's the navigation polygon itself. Why is this doing something weird here? There's navigation polygon changed as well. Maybe emitted when the used navigation polygon is replaced or changes to the internals of the current navigation. Oh, or changes to the internals are committed. Do we need to do something in that case? Because maybe this is happening and there's something we need to actually do. Getting married in July, congratulations. Feel like a huge plus. Finally get to work on what I always wanted. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Bug. Hang on, I have to sneeze. I can't sneeze. Hey, Orca, the game's going well. How are you doing? The problem seems to be that we changed nav at runtime. Or we add nav tiles, at runtime. I'm not sure why this would cause this to happen though. And that's what I want to figure out here. So this is a navigation polygon. Let's look this up. Grind away on stuff. Are you feeling the grind? Because I was gonna say one of the things that I've been talking about is the bricklaying philosophy or mentality, which is that if you're making a brick wall, you just need to keep putting brick after brick down, but at least you know how many bricks you need to put down. With programming, you need to put brick after brick down, but it's hard to estimate how many you need. But I think as long as you look at it as all the time you're putting in is producing some amount of progress, I think that helps. At least makes it more palatable. Make polygons from outlines. Creates polygons from the outlines added in the editor by script. Where's bake in here? To bake a navigation mesh, at least one outline needs to be added. Yeah, we probably need to call this function. Oh, wait, what's that? Deprecated. Use parse source geometry data and bake from source geometry data. Okay, one of these is what we need to call, I think. Parses the scene tree for source geometry according to the properties of navigation polygon. Updates this. Resource can then be used to bake a navigation mesh. After the process is finished, the optional callback will be called. Function needs to run on the main thread or with a deferred call. While convenient, reading data arrays from mesh resources can affect the frame rate. And wait, there's another one here. This one. Bake the provided navigation polygon with the data from the provided source geometry data. What are these things? Parse and bake. Shouldn't there just be like a make this thing update? Isn't this what this used to do, I guess? Yeah, I'm liking Godot. I think it's pretty good. Let's try this deprecated one just to see what it does, because possibly this will fix this. Make polygons. Oh, it doesn't even exist. Oh, is it in? Wait, weird. It's deprecated, not removed. It should exist. Huh. Well, how do we get the navigation server? And what is this? Is it a navigation region 2D? Is there a... Need to parse and then bake in the callback? Yeah, maybe. Oh, you just directly call this thing? Navigation server 2D. Bake from source geometry data at async. So this takes in the nav polygon. And then what's the other argument here? Navigation mesh source geometry data 2D. What even is this? Container for parsed source geometry. How do we get one of these? Make a new one? Okay. I'll try that. This feels weird that I have to do this. Oh, the region isn't the same as the polygon. I see. I wonder if the region has a way of doing this. Does this work? Nah, there's no way to check through here. We need to check through the editor. It did not, but possibly building another thing will... No, it didn't. The region probably has a source data. Yeah, let's go take a look at that. Navigation region. I don't even see it here. What is this thing? Navigation region 2D. Do you exist? Yeah. So there's a bake function in here. I would guess that this just does what it needs to do already. Let's just search for this actually. Godot modify at runtime. That's not helpful. It's not rebaking it during runtime. It's basically modifying a tile map layer. Updating navigation. Navigation tile map runtime baking. This is probably close to what I want. All right, let's read this. Trying to wrap my head around what I need to do to get dynamic updates to work with the navigation region. Buildings get placed down using tile map for the layers. Originally, I went with the nav layer, which did provide the basic functions to allow me to use the agent in pathfinding. Update it when I put down structures. Avoidance sort of works. I ended up working around this already. Maybe you can add those obstructions. My old data is lost. Hmm. This does not sound helpful. Source geometry mode? Because I didn't somehow link this to a specific node in the scene tree, did I? Okay, let's try something here because I'm a little confused by this. If I just if I just put the farm over here, let's say I just instantiated in a farm by from the get-go. Where is this thing? There it is. Okay, so let's say we put this over here. This should start with some nav region that should be set. Because this at least let me confirm that it's not a problem with the farm. It's a problem with adding it at runtime. No, it's not set here either. All right, that's bizarre. I would have expected that to be the case. So I'm probably just messing up these tiles somehow. I don't know how that's possible. Oh, wait a sec. No. Never mind. This is not showing up because it's because of some other reason. Because it's not showing up for the town either. Do we need to make this visible and then it shows up? No, it'll just be made invisible anyway. Ah, but now it does show up. Yeah, so you can see this blue stuff here, but we don't see it for this. That is concerning. Hey, OMG, hi. So what did I do differently about the farm? Do we have an environment.cs? We don't. What controls this? Oh, we do have an environment.cs. I don't know how I didn't see that. Do we do anything here for navigation? No. Well, that's weird. There's got to be some other difference between these two things. This has the right group on it. It should have the right group on it over here too. It does. And I copy pasted this, so I don't know what else could even be different here. This has used parent material. I don't know why I would have that. The material isn't even set, so I think we should delete that. None of this other stuff should matter. The Z index is slightly different. Or could be at least. This has Z as relative and Y sort enabled. I don't think this would matter. I don't know what I'm missing. Enabled, collision enabled. Collision enabled is on. Visibility mode, can we say force show? What does that do? It's still not showing them. What? Did I pick the wrong tiles? Are there two sets of these tiles? That could be possible. It could be that I'm picking the wrong ones of these. I'd find that incredibly surprising because I only added that green tile to one of these things. Yeah, I don't think that's true. I think it's just there. Oh, well, I guess we could check by just selecting this and seeing what its physics is set to. Physics layer is maybe the whole tile? I actually can't tell. It doesn't look like it's set at all. Or no, maybe it's the whole thing. It is kind of hard to tell. And this one's maybe also set to the whole thing, but this one shouldn't be. I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. These should be set up. Maybe we only overrode it for the environment scene. What happens if I click this? No, it looks the same. I don't see any coordinates here though. If I click this. Oh, is it just set to the entire tile? That might be the case. Then how do these work? Like this. This doesn't look any different from the other one. If I say reset. Okay, now there are 4 points there. Okay, that's and now it's highlighted blue. So something's going wrong. I expect this to be highlighted blue over here too. Oh my God. Okay, never mind. I know what's happening. Apparently, our turn invisible function is what makes them actually work as collision objects, so that when they're visible, they're not collision objects. That was not a smart move, because, yeah. So now if I uncomment this, even though it sounds like all it's doing is hiding them, it's actually turning them into collidable objects. Wow. Well, that's my bad. Yeah, we never want them showing up in the game, except for this one case where I'm like, where are they? All right, they're probably working and there's no way to see because I launched that the wrong way. I need to launch it through here. Don't you love when you're the one who creates a puzzle for yourself? Yeah. Wow, look at that. Oh, oh man. Well, we can stop ourselves from ever hitting this in the future by just making these things collidable too. This is dead simple. We do that and we do that. Problem solved. All right, let's go. Let's go delete the farm from here. Save that, turn this thing off, and everything should work the way I wanted it to work. Yeah, sometimes you get it and sometimes you get got. All right, so now we plant some crops here. I should really make a way to do that more easily, huh? Let's get some crops. Let's get some more workers. Let's make these things grow. So now a worker should walk around this to get to the crop. Oh, they can't even make it there anymore. I guess technically they should be able to walk here no matter what. But then they'll be able to walk here too. I see. Wait, but they won't need to walk. No, yes, they will. Because there will be a diagonal line that opens up. Okay, so we got to change our strategy a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of sort of working. So we just get rid of this. And this. And now they'll be able to walk over there. But they'll also be able to walk onto this rock. So if I get rid of this one, this is a 3x3 farm that they can now use. I know it looks like it's 4x4, but we spread out the crops. So this is going to be 3x3, which means they'll be able to walk up there. That's okay. So then when this one's off and this one's off, now it's a 4x4 farm that goes all the way over to here. So we need to turn this one off too. So I think it'll look like this. Well, let's try it. Because if it's wrong, it'll be obviously wrong. Now where's the farm? Here. All right, so these coordinates change. 4, 1, 5, 1. There. Let's try that. I don't think it's going to hide those tiles. Like if I click this, what happens? Oh, it does. Okay, that's fine. Can also make half-size nav tiles. Does it help making better paths so they don't walk on the grass? Yeah. I never thought about that. That probably would work a lot better. All right, let's write this down. Did I not copy your message? There we go. All right, well, let's try it again. Increase the game speed. Wait for these things to grow. Actually, we don't really need to. Okay, so all we're doing is making sure they don't look like they're walking on top of rocks. And they still can't even make it here. That means that this path still has a collision shape on it. All right, let me save this. And let's launch this over here. I don't understand why they're colliding there. There's something blocking them though. Oh, we turn it all off. Oh, God. Oh, no, wait. No. That's not true. I just turned this off. Although it might still not show up. No, it shows up. That's good. All right, so what's the problem here? They can't make it through this tight spot here. So if we just change the nav to be on that flower instead of this flower, this should work. But then we'll probably block this area. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, we got to clean this up a little bit. All right. So where is that flower? The farm goes here. So it's that right there. Is that correct? The flower that I wanted? It's blue, red, blue. And I want to move to the pink one above that. I don't even see blue, red, blue here. Huh. Strange. Oh, they get created with the farm? Yeah, they probably get created with the farm. So if I go back to the game, they don't even exist to begin with. Okay, so then it's a little bit harder to figure out. But I guess it's just wherever that pink flower is. Because the pink flower is there by default. Yeah, there it is. So we move this one from here up to here. Whoops. We delete this one. And probably delete that too. Well, that's technically not walkable. They should have no reason to walk on it. All right, let's try that. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, so they should be able to walk through here. Can they? Or are they going to get stuck up here somewhere? Now they're getting stuck there. That's bizarre. That's very bizarre. Maybe I made that... No, even if I made that too tight, they just go up here. Where's the worker? They're probably stuck on that too. I'm breaking something. Something's going very wrong. Navigation polygon is already baking. Is this because of the new thing that I added inside of rebake that wasn't ever needed? It might have been. Yeah, it might be that we were causing it to try to bake multiple times in a row. In which case, just deleting that line of code should be fine. All right, now what? They shouldn't get stuck there, right? Okay, good. All right, so load. Yeah, good. No, bad. Where's the worker? They're stuck right there. Is this because the path they want to take isn't possible? No, it's some other problem. It's that same baking problem. Polygon convex partition failed. Unable to create a valid navigation mesh layout from provided source geometry. How did I mess that up? Can we delete that? Is this even what's causing this stuff to happen? Because that's all I've changed so far. I just moved a couple of tiles around. And I'm guessing I'm not leaving enough space, but I'm just not sure where I'm not leaving enough space. I would guess it'd have to be there. It looks like it's working now. So yeah, whatever I just did must have worked. All right, let's try this. So they should be able to walk all the way to the carrot. Nope. So they can go through here, but they can't go down here. So this is not enough space. I think it's these corners are too close to each other. Okay. Oh, this is why we should probably use half tiles at some point. I just don't want to do that work right now. So we move this down here. We try it again. But now since we moved that down, we need to move this down as well. There we go. This was supposed to be a pretty easy task. I'm surprised this has taken as long as it has. Although we did discover something pretty important. Which is that making the navigation invisible is what makes it actual navigation. All right, go fetch a carrot. Yes, good. Oh, they stopped there. So now they can't get through here. There's no winning. Yeah, we would need to shrink this. Because we have this same problem here. There's only a one tile gap. And the way that this works is if we say visible navigation, I think it'll be obvious. I think we need to restart this. Yeah, so here you can see they could go down here and into the forest. But as soon as we load the game, it's going to block off the farm. Yep, they can only make it to this. And then there's presumably no way through here. We don't have a way of fixing this with the current tools that we have. We would have to fix it by either shrinking a navigation tile or moving where the farm is. I probably shouldn't have closed that. Let's open that again. Okay, so load game. So let's take a picture of this. And the problem is right here. Need greater than one tile. So if we were to bump this up, let's say we made that not walkable. Now we have the same problem here because there's only going to be one tile. And if we bump this down, then they'll walk on top of a rock. We could move the rock though. Oh, I kind of like that rock there. Well, that's probably the easiest solution, right? We just move that rock down one. Yeah, let's do that. So this, it's taken from here and gets put there. Then the navigation gets taken from here and gets put there. And then this goes to 4, 2. Let's try that. Moving the farm down by one tile would mean I'd also need to move the path. I just don't want to do that. There are at least 2 better solutions than the stuff that I'm working on, but I hope now that it's working. So let's take a look. They should walk to the carrot, pick up the carrot, then walk to the thing. Yeah, good. All right, so that's working. So let's keep trying this with more items. There. And all of these should look good. Yup, 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 and yup. Okay, so they're not walking on the rocks. Now we upgrade the farm. And now we got rid of that one tile. So now when we plant this entire farm, come on. And then we make all these things grow. They should still look good. They're walking weirdly around this. Ugh. Frustrating. Yeah. They're acting like there's something invisible there. Oh, probably because I never rebaked the navigation mesh, actually. Yeah, that's probably why. So if I were to save and load, this would they'd walk around it properly, but they won't when I do this at runtime. Yeah, that's probably what's going on. Yeah, that fixes it. Okay, cool. Yeah, the removed stone is still there. Yeah, I just need to call rebake navigation mesh. We weren't ever doing this because we had no reason to do it, but now we obviously have a reason. So where do we call set farm level? Actually, yeah, this is on ability level change. Town of farm to set town level. We'd also call rebake navigation mesh. I think that's a little bit weird to do from here. We might as well do it from set farm level. No, I think doing it from this is fine. Okay, that should fix it. How do we make it so that we can plant on all of the plots that we have? I want a function for that because this is kind of annoying. We have debug fill farm. Let's write a new one of these. Debug testeroni. I don't care. We're not going to keep this. We just don't want to set the farm level. There. So that'll do it. Now, do we have an unhandled input here? No. So we're going to add in a page up handler. And we're going to call this done. Now we don't ever need to worry about that again. Let's try that out. So now we can test every level very easily. We build the farm. We plant all of our crops there. And we look at how this is. Let's make some more workers, I guess. Yeah, those all look fine. Now we upgrade the level of that. And then plant all the new crops. Looking good. Yeah, looking good. Okay, now we upgrade the level again and plant all the new crops. Good. And then we upgrade it one last time. Oh, we could probably remove this now. It doesn't look bad for them to go up here, but it might look better for them to just cut across this. Plus, there's just grass under there, right? Did I just pick the wrong coordinate? What is the coordinate of this? 8, 0. And what did I specify? 8, 0. That's if level is greater than or equal to 4. Maybe can't get to 4. No, it can't. Wait a second then. So we want to remove both of these at the same time? Yeah, probably. Hey, Vince. Also, hey, B. Yeah, so we just bump this up into here. Now I think we're totally fine. All right, so let's turn off the navigation layer. Ready, make that invisible. And then hide the collision shapes. So this way we're just looking at it like how a player will look at it. And all we're seeing is, do they ever walk on something they shouldn't walk on? So let's add in some workers, speed this up a little bit. They're walking underneath bushes and stuff. Those have to just be removed. But we're seeing, do they walk on rocks or anything? And no, it looks like they're fine. Yeah, okay, cool. So that one's working. Now we give ourselves some money. And we plant these. Looking good. Yep, totally cool. They're not ever walking on top of rocks. Okay, so we leveled it up again. Yeah, this is great. And then one last time. And now they should walk onto this tile here. They aren't. They aren't. If I save and load, did they do it? Oh, it didn't even save the upgraded farm. Oh, because this is cheating. Oh. So now it'll be fixed? Oh, yeah. All right, so when I right click this, it apparently doesn't do what I needed to do, but that's a cheat that only we have access to. That's the, where is it? Debug, fill farm, here it is. Yeah, this is probably reason to put rebake nav mesh into here and not the other one. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do that then. So town, was this lowercase dot rebake navigation mesh? Yeah. And then delete it from the farming increase size. So it doesn't set the collision anymore and we do it in the tile set instead? Well, now we did it the way that I think makes sense. Whether or not these tiles are visible, they all are collidable. So that wasn't even a code problem. That was just that the collision was only set on the invisible tile. It should be that their visibility doesn't change their collision. So I don't think we need to change that. I got to test this one more time, technically. But I'm pretty sure it's going to work. So now when we do this, and I'll speed this up a little bit, and we'll just build out the entire farm. Yeah, they don't act like rocks are there. And if I save and load, they should... Oh, it won't get saved because we don't actually upgrade the perk that you have. All right, that's fine. I'll do this one more time. I'll do it pretty quickly though. In fact, we'll even speed this up. That one looked good. That one looks good. That looks good. Yeah. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So we added collision to 2 more of these tiles. That's good. Then we change the nav tiles around. That's going to be impossible to understand. This shouldn't have probably changed. Let's just delete that one. Then we added a nav layer into the farm. That's good. We put some debug code here. We don't want that. We put some debug code down here. We don't want that. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. These are hard coded. I don't feel like doing this in a different way. I'll just say note the coordinates here correspond to nav tiles. in the tile map. Yeah. All right, so prevent workers from walking on farm rocks. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, it turns out that our nav tiles were only collidable when they were invisible, which was ridiculous. All right, done with that. Next, incorporate item stacking icon. This should be super easy. We go to downloads, we take stack, we put it in here. Game assets, icons, abilities, stack. Let's say keep both. And I'll delete, where's stack 2 now? Yeah, we'll call this item stacking. I named that correctly, right? Yeah. Okay, so close all that stuff. All right, item stacking. Let's go rename the icon ID from stack delapuit to item stacking. And I guess we can alphabetize this pretty easily now by doing that. Now all icon data. Item stacking. Item stacking. We get rid of stack. We should probably delete the entire icon from even the graphic. Where is that? There it is. Delete that. Yeah, and then our item stacking thing will now use the new icon item stacking. There, perfect. Okay, that should be it. Let's try it. So this graphic has 3 potions on it. The old graphic was just a placeholder and had 3 squares, I think. So it should look a lot more professional. Let's see. Oh, well, it's tinted. We can delete the tint. Oh, and then delete constants as well. Nice. I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. Cool. Use item stacking icon. Thanks, Quickie Joe. All right, there shouldn't be anything controversial here. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Some of these weren't properly alphabetized. How is that even possible? Maybe I never alphabetized them to begin with. Because some of these are like broken rock starts with a B, so there's no way I could have possibly confused it. But it is arranged properly for rock. So possibly we renamed some of these icons. But what would glowy fish have been then? Hang on. I'm curious, even though this has nothing to do with what we're trying to do right now. There was a fish that had little icons, little sparkle things coming out of it, right? Where is that? No, it was a light bulb. It was a light bulb. Yeah. Yeah, so KL. We just renamed it. Okay. Yeah, and many fish was called something else. It doesn't matter. Yeah, cool. Okay. Okay, that one's done. Next up, workers walk under a bush in the path. We should remove those bushes. Yeah, this is kind of annoying. All right, so load from our save file. So these things, workers walk on top of these. They shouldn't even be there. We just need to remove those completely. Unfortunately, we don't have a way of removing tiles from a like a scatter region. And even if we did, we need to remove it in an irregular shape. But I think we just need to code that function at this point. Oh, it's got to remove many different layers, not just that one. I'm not sure what I want to do for this. I don't think I actually want to even do this now. It is a problem though. Yeah, I don't think I want to do this now. I already have this written here. Okay, let's save that for later. I unlocked the farming perk that clears rocks. The price went up to 200, which I definitely didn't have, but the perk still looked viable. I tried investigating this the other day, and I couldn't figure out what went wrong. And maybe it'll work here, maybe it won't. But I clicked this, and this still looked like it was purchasable. How did that happen? Because it's not happening like this. Maybe it involves saving and loading. I don't think I saved and loaded though. So I have enough money. I save, I load. I click this. Not that. Maybe then money has to change. Oh, what if the problem is that your money changes on the same frame that you click this? So it thinks you have the money, but you really don't? I don't know why that wouldn't just cause this to get updated immediately. I guess let's look at what happens when you buy a perk tree. Here it is. Okay, so modify money. Update the cost after modifying the money. What does this do? Cost equals get cost of ability. Should we do this beforehand? Maybe that should just fix it. But okay, let's try to figure out just through code inspection. If this is a bug, how would this be a bug? So we modify money, we subtract however much it would have cost. Let's say it costs 150 and you have 75. Or no, sorry, other way around. Let's say you have 150 and it costs 75. So now you'd be left with 75 at the end of this, and then the cost of this would go up. But we do that after modify money. Hey, EJ. Wow, 2 EJ visits in 1 week. How are we this blessed? I don't know what could cause this to happen. Because we set the cost here. But then I guess we don't update the button. Does this thing know? Money change. Here it is. We set this to be disabled based on whether it's less than the cost. Yeah, but I tested this. It doesn't make any sense. If an ability costs 50. All right, I haven't changed any code right now. Yeah, here's what doesn't make any sense to me. If we give ourselves... Oh, drat, that's too much money. Okay, let's just go modify the save file. And let's give ourselves less money than that. This. So, okay, let's set this to 200. Yeah. Well, let's reload this. Okay, so this costs 100 and the next one costs 150. Yeah, there's the bug right there. Yeah. And I think the fix for this is dead simple. I think it's just that. Easy. Easy. I could have sworn I had tested this before, but maybe I didn't. Because I knew this was a bug, and then I looked at it the other day and I thought I tested this scenario. So now if I click this, it should be disabled. Yeah, it's working. All right, I don't know. I guess I was wrong in what I tested. Fix bug with perks looking viable. It's because we didn't update the cost of the skill before modifying your money. So if a skill cost 50 and the next level cost 1,000 and you had 100 gold, then buying it once would make it look like you could afford the next level as well. Yeah. Do you normally only code on VS Code? Yeah, I do. And welcome in, Madalena. Stocks just keeps going down. I haven't even looked at the stock market stuff. Let's take a look at... Huh. What stock do you tend to look at first, Hepta? When you're seeing how your stocks are doing? Is it Salesforce CRM? Yeah, Salesforce. -4%. -6% over 5 days. -19% over a month. But if you look at the 5-year trajectory, it's gone up by 82%. So just look at that metric. Actually, max is probably some gigantic change. Yeah, 6,000%. So if you bought back in 2004, just lost like 20% of my total comp. Yeah. I mean, I think things will bounce back. Stock market is a long-term investment for most people. All right, so this one's solved. All right, I had a great idea for a new perk that I think we should go code, but we won't have an icon for it yet. Oh, and before I forget, hang on one sec. Let me go change something really fast. There we go. Amazon employees for RSUs prices at 217. Now their shares are worth 170. Is Amazon the company that used to say, like, we're not giving you raises in your salary because the stock has been doing so well? I wonder if this means they're going to give you super huge raises if you work at Amazon. Anyway, like I said, I think this will all kind of level out at some point. There have been periods of the stock market being low in the past, and there are very few times in history where investing would not have worked out for you in the long run. All right, this. I thought of a way of solving one of the problems that we have in the game. So the enchanter, we have 3 spells, and they all take the same amount of mana. So if you only have enough mana to cast one of them, then you're making a choice here, right? Like you can't just cast all 3. But then you level up individual spells. So for example, instead of customers moving 50% faster, you can make them move 75% faster. That's all fine. That's how you'd expect pretty much any of these systems to work. The problem is this: when you unlock auto casting, you click one of these buttons, and now you're only ever pretty much going to cast that one spell. So now why would you ever get these other upgrades? And there are reasons, but they're sort of flimsy. So the solution I came up with, and I think this solves a couple of problems, is what if we add a perk, and the perk says something like X% chance to cast a random different spell, or like on spell cast to cast a random different spell. So now you have a reason to upgrade all of them, and you have a way of auto casting more than one spell, but you just don't get to pick. Well, you get to pick the first one, but then it'll randomly pick which other one of these. So if you have the blue button pressed, it'll sometimes cast the green and the orange one, but it'll always cast the blue one. Zapboy, thanks for the resub, and hey, Freak Technic. Did you see the April Fool's thing? The Skeleseller wrap? I think it's one of those things. How long do you have to hold on to RSUs now to make them positive? Yeah, but that's the nature of any speculative market, is you can't know the answer. So, I mean, that's the risk you engage with when getting compensation in RSUs. And anyway, I think the answer is probably like some small number of years. I bet in somewhere between like 1 and 5 years, it'll be positive again. All right, so let's go code this perk. What should we call it? What should the icon be? I guess it's going to be a temporary icon anyway. Oh, and it technically doesn't require you to have the auto casting at all. That's another nice thing about this. So what do we call this? Like chain spell? What would make you think you're casting other spells? Chaos magic. Something better than these 2 names. Erratic casting? That's not bad. Yeah, I'm leaning toward this. Anyone have any ideas for this? The thing is, when casting a spell, I guess it's already written up here. What do we call this? And like I said, I'm leaning toward this one because it's random. I think including the random nature in the name of this is probably a good idea. I guess we could just call it like random casting. Random, I don't like that. I think it's random casting. I think I'm just going to go with this. Wild magic's pretty good. Entropic magic, entropy. I kind of like wild magic. Let's see. Yeah, I think wild magic's pretty good. D&D just heads up. You know, I'm not super concerned about taking a name from D&D, but if the mechanic is exactly the same, then I'd be a little bit more concerned. What does wild magic do in D&D? Is it this? Is this a description of it? Your innate magic comes from the wild forces of chaos that underlie the order of creation. What is wild magic? Wild magic sorcery? Yeah, it is this. You or an ancestor might have endured exposure to raw magic. Perhaps you were playing a portal, blah, blah, blah. Perhaps you were blessed with this. What? What is the, like, base? What does this do? Oh, this is the, like, roll a whole bunch of... Okay, I think I remember what this is. I played very little D&D. I'm unsubbing if the streamer doesn't listen to my recommendation. Okay, we'll call it entropy, everybody, because that gives me the most amount of money for this decision. You have any recs for a keyboard for coding? It's whatever you're comfortable with. I did a video on my keyboard, and in that video, I linked to another video. Let me link this, because you might find this video interesting. In short, one of the things that I think is really important about just kind of normal typing here, and I talk about this in the video, but normally on a regular keyboard, your distance between where your hand rests and where the backspace key is typically gigantic. And I think that's a problem because even the best typers still hit backspace a bunch of times. So whatever, I'll just load up this keyboard. So your pinky is generally going to be there on the semicolon, and the distance to get to backspace on most keyboards is what, a couple of inches, 3 inches, something like that. So like you need to rotate your hand, move it a little bit to get there. One of the nice things about any keyboard where you can customize the firmware is you can just rebind the keys. So for example, I can type a key here. This is H. And if I hold this key and press it, it's now backspace. So I didn't move my fingers at all for this. You see this? So there is no hand rotation or resetting positions or anything. So I like a keyboard like this, but you don't need this form factor to get that feature. Whenever you cast a spell, there's a chance something else random happens. Okay, so it is pretty much the same. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't think we should take the name then. There are more standard things like fireball in probably pretty much every game or board game that has it is probably going to be like shoot a fireball at something, right? And probably do fire damage. So that, I don't mind taking that from this. This is just an English word too. But yeah, wild magic as a term, I don't want it to be exactly what D&D does. Now that said, I guess World of Warcraft they copied a lot of names of Dungeons and Dragons spells. I'm not sure. This is kind of a weird territory because it's not like they trademarked that, right? Hey, Strawn. We so lost the random configuration keyboard. Too many years with QWERTY. Slow me down. It would slow you down, but the idea is that you'd get some benefit after some amount of time. Do you have another keyboard, not a phone that you type on as well, or do you just use the Corn? Yeah, for gaming, I have just a regular, like a QWERTY keyboard. And it's not split or anything. I don't think I'd ever want to game on something that's not like a regular keyboard. The Corn's not great for gaming. All right, well, we could call it wild magic and then potentially... Actually, I'm kind of curious. How do we even look this up? All right, I'm gonna type a really stupid query here. Is it okay to take the name of a D&D spell from my game? Ah, this is exactly what I want. If I'm making my own game, writing a book, can I use spell names from D&D, or would that be illegal? Talking about something like fireball, you're certainly clear. Even something like magic missile. Wait, what? Even something like magic missile, which has no other context except when referring to the D&D spell, is going to likely be a no-go. Hmm. All right. I don't know. We should probably just come up with something else. Yeah, dropping magic. Sure. Let's let's just go with that. I also like the erratic casting. I think that was pretty good too. Okay, anyway, so now what is X for each level and how many levels do we have? I think it's got to be enough where you feel like it's worthwhile to get this. So maybe like 10%, 20%, 30%. 10% doesn't feel like a lot though. What if we did 20%? Whoops. 20%, 40%. No, no, I'd rather do somewhere in the middle of this. I think 60% is probably too much. 15, 30, 45. I want to end at 50 though, right? I guess this is probably the best one. Probably results in your characters zipping all over town though. Maybe we have to debuff those a little bit. Erratic agent, liking erratic casting. This guy, waiting for years. This guy. We could have more than 3 levels as well, but I think 3 probably makes sense for this. Let's start at the most generous of these. Yeah, let's start at this one. Okay, and now let's go get an icon. This is just a temporary one, so this doesn't matter too much. Hey, TJ. Search for magic. Why door and gate? This one? Sparkles? Yeah, it's good enough for now. Yeah. Just waiting for the right time. Magically non-deterministic spell. RNG encoded casting. All right, so we're going to download this. And then put this into here. Game, assets, icons, abilities. So that's sparkles.svg. All right, now we go to and what are we calling this? I guess we're calling this part sparkles. Sparkles, Della Wheat. Right, they made this? Yeah, they made this. All right, all icon data. Go find, what was the next one? Spellbook. Sparkles. Okay, now we need a new ability ID. This is going to be Enchanter. What do we call it? Entropic casting? Is that what it was, or entropic magic? Entropic magic. Okay. Now we go save this here. Oh, wait, no. We should save one that actually has multiple levels. This one, I guess. Yeah. Enchanter, entropic casting. Hazard hexes. I like that one. They're not hexes, though. They're buffs. All right, an enchanter, entropic casting. Oh, it's magic. Oh my god, I keep renaming this as I'm coding it. What is going on? All right, let's fix that. It should have been magic. Reveal in Finder. That is not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I messed that up. Okay, now this uses the sparkles icon. We call this entropic magic. We have the chances are going to be, we said 0.2, 0.4. Nice. I didn't need AI to do that, but I wanted it to. We pull this from chances. So what do we call this? Get extra spell chance. We really should add in a fourth spell if we're going to do this. Chance. Okay, so casting a spell. What was the wording I used? When casting a spell, maybe just casting a spell grants a chance to cast another random spell. Spell display name, we don't need that. Okay, so there it is. And then we go plug this into enchanter perks. Where should we put this? Probably the second slot. Yeah, enchanter, entropic magic. All right, costs. What should the cost of these be? The first level is only a 20% chance. So the first level could actually be somewhat cheap. Let's make that 100. The next level, 40% chance. It's not huge. I guess we'll go the typical 100, 200, 300 route. Then we need to tint this ability, which we had a way to do that. If we look at enchanter perks, no, town perks. Yeah, should be right there. So copy that. Because this is a temporary icon, which means it's white. So we tint it to be brown like the other ones, but we just need to eventually get the proper art for that. All right, then import this. Then write a note to myself. We can add entropic magic icon request. I don't know what that means. I wrote that stupidly though. Okay, now we need to make this functional. So let's go into the enchanter, and whenever you cast a spell, we need to, oh, we should probably say that you cast it for free, right? Yeah, because otherwise that's not very good at all. Where'd the perk go? Here it is. Casting a spell grants a chance to cast another random spell. How should we say this? For no mana cost. With no mana cost. For 0 mana. For 0 mana. Yeah. That's good. Okay. So here's where we figure out if you're going to cast another spell. Will cast, or I guess let's start with like float chance to cast other spell is equal to this. And if stack computations dot percent chance. All right, so in this case, we want to find another spell and then cast it. And the spell just needs to be one that we don't already have here. And I believe we have spell IDs. Yeah, so enum functions dot get valid values. Spell ID. How do you call this? Like this? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, that is right. Okay, cool. Let me just get rid of this. And we say dot remove dot toList dot remove the ID that you just cast, which is there. Oh, and any that are active already. Oh, which means you might not be able to actually cast this, right? Yeah, whatever. We'll try. So productive when I lurk here. Plus 50% productivity. Glad to hear it, blue. So remove where? Is that not a thing? Do we have link? Yeah, we have link. Isn't there a, I guess let's just do a select. Okay, so we take in an ID and we make sure that the ID is not equal to, or it's just not active. That's all we have to do. Where is, how do we get this spell book by the ID? Well, it depends on how spell books are saved. They're saved as a list. Seriously? All right. Do we have a function for getting that? Get spellbook by ID. Perfect. So get spellbook by ID dot is active. So we want ones that aren't active. And we know this has to exist. Excuse me. Hang on a second. Thought to myself, this is how Adam feels every day. Oh man, Wednesday was a nightmare of a day. For anyone who didn't see what happened, I'll give you the very, very brief intro, but we fixed a problem with rendering sub viewports in Godot, which we use in two places, the battle map and in battles. So here on the left is the old way of rendering. You can see the trees are slightly fuzzy, and on the right, they're super crisp. So I zoom out a little bit, you can see them side by side. And then same thing over here. Here, it's more the grass you should look at in the background. It got crisper. And then same thing with the battles. The text got better and the icons got better. That took a long time to fully figure out what was going on. I wrote an extensive amount of notes on this. So if anyone wants to read about the whole rundown of that, here are the notes. At 360p, it looks the same. Why are you watching at 360p? Yeah, I wrote a whole bunch of things about this. I also learned some things about how SVGs work in Godot. I wrote some notes about that too. These are all public if anyone wants to read them. If you can benefit from them, by all means do. Okay, so get all the valid ones. Select all of the ones where, I guess do this, where the spell's not active, and then make a list of this. So this is going to be a list of spell ID, spells, inactive spells. And then if that list has any elements in it, we're going to select a spell to cast, spell to entropically cast, and get inactive spells dot sample 0, 1, 0. Was it super difficult to fix, or was it like one thing you had to change? The fix itself wasn't too crazy. In this case, I wanted to understand everything that was happening. So for example, one of the puzzles that I had about this is why did, and it's a little bit hard to tell here, but just trust me, the rogue looks good. But why did the rogue look good on the left and on the right? Why was there no change? And I had some theories of why. Like we are actually zooming the camera into 2x. So I thought, oh, that means that we can like regain that 2x by changing the scale. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to explain that. What I think the answer is that this is pixel art, and the way it gets scaled up is such that it will always look like it's comprised of pixels. We don't try smoothing anything out. That's the nearest filter in Godot. So basically, if you were to take a graphic that is like 2 by 1, and you say this is a red pixel and this is a blue pixel, and then you expand it up by like 1,000,000 times the scale, it's still going to pretty much just look like a red square and a blue square. They'll just be comprised of many, many pixels to make that. And that's, I think, what's happening with this too that makes this not look weird. Like we can zoom in as far as we want. This thing is still going to look like a crate when zoomed in so that it takes up your whole screen. It's just going to take many pixels to form that crate. So yeah, things like that took me a while to learn and figure out. I needed to test a lot of things. I needed to find the simplest way of doing this. I originally thought I had to modify like entire parts of the scene tree and write scripts for this. I didn't. But yeah, it took a lot of investigation to come to those conclusions. All right, so in this case, we know that there's a spell to cast, and we want to cast it. We are not going to play another sound effect because this happens instantaneously. So we just, we should probably just make this be the spell book, huh? Inactive spell books. Nah, let's just make it spells. Who cares? Yeah, so spell to cast book dot cast spell. All right, let's go test this out. Yeah, that's it. Everything should just work end to end. That's all it took to add the new perk. And I like this idea a lot. So I'm hoping players like it too. Duplicate ability ID. Did I accidentally... that's strange. What does it say when we hit play? Type initializer for abilities through an exception. Spell potency exists twice. How is that possible? Did I... What? How is this possible? Did it not build? I don't understand how this is happening. Unless I... Oh, I must not have changed the idea of this. Yeah, I didn't change the idea. Okay. Well, let's take a look now. All right, so we got to get the enchanter. And now there should be a new perk here. Oh, the graphic doesn't show up because I didn't launch Godot first. But if I do this and then restart this, it'll show up now. There we go. Okay, so we got these little sparkles. They don't fit the rest of the icons. I know that. We're not going to worry about that for now. So it says casting a spell grants a chance to cast another random spell for 0 mana. So we're going to fully upgrade this. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, wait, whoops. I messed that up. This is supposed to have a 0% chance at level 0. Yeah, at a 20% chance at level 0. That's more like it. All right, so we're going to give ourselves a 60% chance and then just click a spell. And it casts 2 of them. So let's speed this up. Let's give ourselves more mana regeneration. All right, so I'm going to click this again. It just cast 1 that time. We're going to click this one to cast both of them. I want this to cast the orange one now. That way we know it's somewhat random. We just need to wait until it does it. It's going to make a fool out of me. All right, well, let's also unlock auto casting. And now I don't need to click anything. Now we just wait for the orange book to open. Ah, easy. Whoops. No, 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 no. Hasn't happened. It is a little peculiar that it hasn't happened. We haven't done so many trials that it's alarming, but it's been like 8 spell casts. And it should happen 30% of the time. Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool. So is this good? 60%, and it took 600 gold to upgrade it. It's a cool idea, at least. Maybe it should play 2 sounds at once. Let's save this. And then let's see what it would sound like if I had to play 2 sounds. We need to see if cast spell even has some sort of pitch modulation on it. Where do we find that? All sound data? No, it doesn't. No, let's just keep it as it is then. I think we're fine. All right, well, cool. I think this is a nice little boost for the game. And I think the more perks, the better. And before this, there was pretty much no reason to get more than one of these perks of these 3 because they improve the quality of each spell. So now that you can randomly cast another spell, you have a reason to upgrade them all. Pretty cool. Add entropic magic perk. All right, how's the code look? Good, good. Good, good. We checked, right? It doesn't actually remove more mana. Mana is only subtracted once, yeah. We should probably have another function here. Like void cast random inactive spell. And then just move all this down there. Well, move this down there, I guess. And then say this is just cast random inactive spell. This doesn't cost mana or produce a sound intentionally. Hey, Grim. Things are going well today. Definitely better than Wednesday. So, Strawn, about this, I feel like there are a lot of different classes of bugs. There are some that are just straightforward, you fix right away. You're just like, oh, I didn't realize it happened. There are some that take you 10 hours to get 2 lines of code. And yes, you probably should have realized in the beginning, but you didn't. Then this was one of the ones that involved understanding quite a lot. Like, imagine if you'd never done pathfinding before and there was a bug in it. If you've never done it before, it's probably not going to be that easy to fix. You probably have to understand how the whole algorithm is working. And those are cases where I feel like there's quite a lot of learning as you go along with the bug. And I think that's what this case was on Wednesday and also yesterday. I ended up with a lot of notes. And to me, what this represents is in the future, if I ever hit this again, it will take me a fraction of the time to address this. And if anyone else ever hits this in the future and finds these notes, then they can also benefit from that. So I don't really mind how that went. I think that as recently as maybe months or a small number of years ago, I would kind of panic because I kind of look at the dev cycle as things go smoothly, then things go off the rails, and then there's panic and despair, and then things get back on track, and then there's calm. And in this, like, I think things are bound to go off the rails for pretty much every project at some point. If it goes on long enough, you'll probably have something go wrong. And it doesn't mean it's permanently wrong, just you hit a problem and you need to fix it. And the problem is this. This should not be happening every time. I shouldn't be like, oh God, the game's done. We're ruined. It's over. So I've tried to tone this down. And that was an important learning. Bug fixing today. There's always the today command if you want to check it out, Grim. Okay, so add entropic magic perk. We looked through this a bunch of times. I think it's good. All right. So this is good. Now I mentioned loop magnet probably shouldn't end up giving 100% if it's got nearly 100% uptime to boot. And now we don't need to increase the mana regeneration rate too high. What is the maximum mana regeneration rate? It's 10, which means it takes 40 seconds to cast a spell, and spells last for 30 seconds. So there's only 10 seconds of downtime. That's probably fine. I mean, I don't think there's really a problem with that. I think the problem is this, that loop magnet can end up giving you double the items pretty much all the time. I think the problem is that we're doubling them. Now, I recognize that there are 2 things you can tweak here. We're saying there's an X% chance to give Y% of the items, where Y is capped at 200%, or it's always 200%. So we could make it so that X just rises slower. So instead of X being 33%, 66%, and 100%, we could say it's like 10 to 20 to 30. Because you're essentially just multiplying these 2 numbers by each other to figure out the average increase in value of items. However, it would be nice if we could change Y so that you always feel like you're getting more items, but it's not double the amount of items. The problem is that people don't know how many items you're actually granted. So some instance, maybe like the volcano, let's say, gives you 3 to 5 items. So by doubling it, it's going to 6 to 10. If we said we're giving you 50% more so that it's what, 4.5 to 7.5, it's not necessarily going to be obvious. You might still roll 5 items and say, oh, nothing changed, when really it did give you more. So I don't really know what to do about this. Maybe what we should do is maybe loop magnet gives you a chance to find rare items. But even then, if they're rare, then you wouldn't be able to tell that this worked. I guess that's the problem with this. Anyway, I think we need to nerf this a little bit. Balance day. Yeah, it's pretty much just get things ready for my friend on Sunday so that I can get as much feedback as possible. I played the game yesterday myself. I was having fun. I think the game is just turning out to be a fun game. I want to tone this down. Loot, what's it called? Item? I don't even know what it's called. All right, let's just look at ability ID. Enchanter, item, spell, potency. This is used by here. Okay, so 33%, 66%. What do we want this to end up at? Maybe like 70% at the high end. So maybe we just multiply all of these by times 0.7. We need to make this look like 1.0. There, okay. Okay, and then we'll just round to the nearest 5 to 20%, 45%, and 70%. So it's plus 20, plus 25, plus 25. Maybe we do it the other way around. We front load it. 25, 25, and then 20. Yeah. This is going to break the games industry. All right, so we've nerfed this. I still think we need to rework this thing entirely, this particular spell. But at least this is a middle ground for now. Yeah. Also, does it really matter if we give them the extra 5% at the end? Not really. Yeah, the last level gives less, but I mean, it'll look like a mistake, so let's just give them the last 5%. All right, so nerf loot magnet. Instead of 33%, 66%, 100%, it now gives 25% per level. I should say instead of 33% per level, it now gives 25%. And technically, it's fine. Just gonna leave it like that. Sure. Okie dokie. All right. Make it more obvious that you can and should get item stacking. Extractor efficiency should share some actual numbers. Witch doctor's overpowered. It's not that the witch doctor is even overpowered in solo battles. It's overpowered in group battles. Because it's like it's healing your allies for too much. I wonder if we just had their life drain increase. Then stealing life might not be as useful. Let's take a look. Yeah, let's see what this. It might be an elegant enough solution. It might not be. What is it doing right now? They lose 12.5% health per second. So after 8 seconds, they die. What if we made it so that after 6 seconds, they die? Yeah. Could be based off how many allies there are or something like that. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about this stuff. Let's figure out where is that 12.5%. Apparently not there. All right, well, it's probably in Summon Zombie somewhere, right? Oh, 0.125 is what I should have searched for. All right, so we set this to 100 divided, or I guess just 1 divided by 16. There we go. Wait, why did I do 16? Did I mean 1 divided by 6? Yeah. And just set it to 17%, I guess. Yeah, balancing them is pretty tough. Because they have a lot of skills that make this difficult. Hey, Mr. Halsey. I always check the time when Mr. Halsey raids. Ah, it's 10:20. Something's different about today. What's different? And how'd the stream go? And welcome in, everybody. And a shout out to Mr. Halsey. Shout out. Thank thee, thank thee. Yeah, we are trying to get the game ready for a friend who's going to play it on Sunday. And then that friend's feedback will form the foundation for what we do next week. And then maybe next week we can release the demo to everybody. So the thing I just changed right now was this. Yeah, so let's put the witch doctor into a battle on their own and see if they can even beat the forest, because they might not be able to. Oh, and also let's show stats. There. Okay, I'll speed this up a little bit. So the zombies die pretty fast without even taking damage. And they're still able to win this fight, but it does take a long time. That took 25 seconds. Quite a bit of bike shedding. Changed some core types. Only one test is now failing. All in all, good stream. Nice, nice, nice. And nearly have it working end-to-end. Awesome. Yeah. Meeting in a bit with management, a little explanation for the purpose. I know we're talking about our new buggy graphical design tool. I'm not sure what info they're looking for. I'm 100% don't want to lean that direction too much. It is weird for people to not share the purpose of a meeting. I feel like maybe the only time, and I don't even know if this is okay then, but if it's like a, hey, we're restructuring the company, or there's some like something private that they can't share basically, so that if they told you ahead of time, you might be able to leak it to people. Hey, Alex, welcome in. So yeah, this took 25 seconds. If a rogue were to do that same fight, it would take, I think, 10 maybe. I have it sped up, but it's still going to compute it in terms of how long it would have taken if I hadn't had it sped up. Yeah, it took 13 seconds. So the witch doctor is taking double the time. I guess if we're going to make the zombies die faster, then maybe bite can do more damage. What does zombie bite do right now? 75% power scaling. We could maybe buff this a little bit. Yeah, what if we just buff this to 1? So now they're going to do 33% more damage, but that's not the total damage that they do. So it's not going to speed up the battle by 33%. So now the witch doctor fighting against a level 1 bat is probably going to be like, I don't know, 21 seconds maybe. Let's just see what it works out to be. Oh, it's not going to show because I didn't show stats. There. It's exactly the same amount of time. Oh, because their power is so little that it doesn't make a difference. Okay, maybe that's the real problem. Percent power of summoner is 0.75. So they have 75% of the power. And the power is 10 times 1.2. So 12 times 0.75 versus... No, it's 9 versus... What? Hold on, what's happening here? How much damage are they doing? They're doing 9 damage, yeah. Wait, that means that something's wrong. Oh, wait, no. I understand. I had this twice, so 12 times that. So that's 9 power, 9 times 0.75. So it used to do 7 damage. So we've improved the damage by 2. So if I do this and save the game. Why you gotta kill him again? The age-old question. Hey, Juicebox. When balancing a game, I like to use a spreadsheet. Yeah, there's a lot of variables in this game, though. I don't know. Everything changes so often that it's hard to figure out what these things should even be at. So now they should do 7 damage, I think. So if we see a 7 there, then I at least understand what's going on. Yeah, good. Okay, so we have improved this, but we improved it by barely any amount. And I guess we need to start comparing this to poison. So we have, what is it, poisonous skin? And how much, oh, let's just look at the game. How much damage does it do? 2 damage per second for 9 seconds. So every single time an attacker hits this, it's taking 18 damage. To the point where adding an extra 12 here and there doesn't really matter too much. Everything about making a static class, all the buff amounts as constants to make all these changes from one location. I don't really think it's where these are stored that's making this hard to figure out. Because we could do that, although then you have to modify one like mega file every time you make a change, which has its own problems. Like imagine you're just changing byte, and to do this you're changing a constants file, and someone else is changing that same file, and there's some merge conflicts or something. Anyway, I don't think it's a major problem. If it wasn't made in Godot, but it was a browser game like Botland, would you store all those things in a database instead of statically in a file? No, I'd probably still store them in a file. Again, storing it in a database versus a file, it's all going to just get loaded into memory. These are very tiny values. there's a total of maybe, let's say, like 2 kilobytes of numbers that we need. So it's not really a where are we storing them. At least I don't consider that to be a problem. The bigger problem is just like what should these numbers even be? We have poisonous skin doing 18 damage over 9 seconds, and we have bite doing now 9 damage every 2.7 seconds. So, and this is every time the enemy attacks it. This can stack. It's based on the enemy attack speed. So it kind of makes it so that the poison aspect is overshadowing bite, but only when the damage goes long enough. And then there are all the synergies to consider here. So if we unlock all these skills, here's what complicates all of this stuff. This says increases damage dealt by poisonous skin. This says that bite will also inflict poison and will also take this skill into account. And then what else is there that makes this difficult? I don't know. I think we need to improve bite damage and lower poison damage a bit, though. Or make it a chance to poison. What is chance to counter? Huh, that was just not needed. Oh, what do we do? What do we do? Maybe lower the poison duration and also lower the power a tiny bit. And then make bite even better. So the vampiric bite is better. So now instead of doing 7 damage, it's going to do 14 damage. I was originally doing 7. No, let's just try this. Sorry, I missed some chat messages. Companies really open about direction, finances, leadership. I don't think anything earth shattering. Is this common that they do this? They start a meeting without telling you the agenda? Because I would just probably give them that feedback then. Just say, hey, it would have been nice to know the agenda for this ahead of time. Not really those private public vars, more like this one statically assigned in the code all over the place. I mean, they're going to be hard coded no matter where they are. If they're in, well, I shouldn't say they're going to be hard coded no matter where they are. They're going to have a label associated with them still to let you know what they are. Like I said, I don't think where they're located is super important. Okay, let's start this battle again. So now bite does more damage. Yeah, it does 14. The poison is still looking like it's doing 2, but it's probably not. It's probably doing like 1.6. And the battle now only lasted 19 seconds. So this is a little bit more in line with what I want. I still want the zombies to do something. I just don't necessarily want them to be like mega tanks. So if I give a bunch of skill points here, and we put some points in a vampiric bite, the zombies should be alive for longer now. Yeah, but it's like barely longer. Because before this, it would take 6 ticks for them to die, and now they should get to bite a little bit faster. If you have the clout, you can start auto-rejecting meetings. Okay, well, let's maybe do a playthrough with the Witch Doctor. But until that point, how will we test this? Let's go to the volcano and put in the Witch Doctor and the Rogue. So I'm technically cheating a tiny bit because I have 2 skill points in bite, even though I shouldn't. But it looks like they die. Yeah, they died. It took 26 seconds. And they got the bats down to very little life. Let's try that same thing now, but with the mage instead of the witch doctor. I'm guessing the bats will have much more life at the end. I think the total is probably a little bit more. There is some randomness. This doesn't seem too bad, just just from a gut feeling perspective. So now let's go over here and let's throw 4 of these into a battle. Oh, but the witch doctor had two points in a bite, so that is kind of different. All right, I don't know. Let's try this out. So what are the changes that we made here? So zombies die faster, and that should be reflected in this thing, right? Minus 17% per second. So die in 6 seconds. Yeah, sure. Bite does double the damage. Poison does a little bit less. How did we change this? It was 0.2 times 9. So it was 1.8 total, and now it's 0.17 times 7. So that's 1.2 total. So it's like a 33% nerf to that, and a 100% buff to the other one. And a giant nerf to life. Okay, well, let's try that. Which doctor are we talking about? No, who's on second? Rebalance the witch doctor. But which doctor? Okay, so zombies lose more life per second. Poison deals less damage. Bite deals more damage. This was done to position the witch doctor as less of a healer slash tank by virtue of having zombies live for so long. We should add clouds to the battle map moving to the right because of the animated flag. Yeah, I think that'd be a nice polished thing we do. I think we have something about this somewhere. Flavor to the town. Okay, commit that. All right. So I think we should play test it again, but I think I should play test it with something in mind. And maybe we should do this one first before we do anything else. Because I think this is gonna really help new players. Yeah, I want to take a quick break before we do this though. Did you hear that juice box hero? Giving you ample warning. Excuse me. Yeah, so what symbol do we use? It would just be an asterisk, but it may not be clear. I am ready. Okay, is it jump time? It's jump time. Hi again. Congrats, Raimu. 360p winner. Close the game. Okay, how do we do this? So we already have something that highlights the perks tab if you have any perk you can get anywhere. No, that's not even true. Or at least it's not working if we do this. It does work if money changes. Okay, so then there's a bug here. Bug when unlocking something with perks doesn't highlight the perks button green if you can afford a perk. So 20 seconds left. I'm way behind. So the town menu figures this out every time the money is changed. How does it do that? Can afford skill in unlock tab. Tree dot can afford any skill. Yeah. This is only ever called from there. Okay, so what we could do is we could, well, I don't know how we do this actually, but we could change the tab titles, and instead of having this return true or false immediately, we could just store whether you can afford any of them, and maybe have this say that you update the tab titles or something like that. I don't want to think about this too much right now. So how about we just, all right, we'd have to rename this. So can afford any skill equals false. Here we set this to true. Here we return this. And then if you can afford it, then we also want to change the tab title. So how do we do that? Tab controller. So we store this by tab ID. Where do we have the, here's the title. Set tab titles. And we're setting it from where? I see. Actually, there's one other call here too. This doesn't need to change though. This one does. Okay, well then here's what we can do. We can make a set tab title, public void set tab. Oh, I guess we already have that, but it's in tab container, and that's private. Yeah, that's fine. Set tab title, t tab ID. There we go. So that's fine. We can call that from here if we want. This is, yeah, that's fine. Okay, then back over here, we do this. Set tab title. We got to get this from somewhere. We want the original tab title that we have. We could have like an indicate that this thing has an affordable perk. Well, it's still private. We kept it private. We encapsulated it correctly. Yeah, I think we would change the tab controller so that it not only tracks the title, but it tracks whether or not we're rendering some asterisks there, or some symbol indicating you can buy it. And that way we don't need to keep updating the title. We just set this thing to true or false. Do we have a way of getting the title? No, we don't. Yeah, okay. Well, then let's do this. Let's call it set. Well, this needs to go back to here. Let's call this something like set symbol visible. So we do this and pass in a bool. Visible. Or is visible. All right, so I don't want to do this. We don't have a get tab title, do we? Oh, it's part of this? We do have it. Well, well, well. But we need to know that this contains the symbol at the end. String current title, tab title. So if that ends with our like symbol suffix, I'll just put a star. I don't know how I want this to look. But anyway, if it ends with that, then, and we want this thing to not be visible. Doesn't have that. We want it to be visible and add that. Yeah. And then set that the current tab title. All right, let's try something like that. So now over here, we're going to say set symbol visible. So tab can afford any skill. Yeah, so bool can afford skill in this tree is equal to this. And this could be or equaled with this, which is kind of a weird way of doing things. I might not want to do that. Let's try this out. Let's at least see if this works. So there's a lot of ugliness here. But it should at least function. So now we see a little asterisk next to town. You know, obviously that's an asterisk. It's so tiny. But if I buy everything, that asterisk should go away. Yeah, and if I get more money, it should come back. So this is kind of how we could do things now. So now you could always tell at a glance, can I afford something in here? I don't see an asterisk, so I can't. So let's get all of the things with perks. And this. So there should be 5 tabs. And if I get enough money, all of them have the asterisk there. Click this, now only the garbage slime has one. Yeah, so is that a good enough way of doing things for now? Yeah, it's okay. It's not super visible. Yeah, it's okay. We could make a custom icon. In fact, to test that, I think we have the coin symbol somewhere. I don't remember how you type that though. Oh man, yeah, I don't remember how you type it. Fonts. How many types of heroes? There are 7 right now. All right, so we load this up. Then what? Drag the font onto the page. What font is this? It's probably Skeleseller main. Game, assets, fonts. Yeah, it is. Okay, so drag this onto the page. And now we got to figure out which character is the coin. Wait, there is no coin? Or do we have to click this? Geometric shapes. All right, there are skulls. Wasn't there a coin graphic in here? Maybe there wasn't. Huh, yeah, I don't think there was. We could use that. Whoops, I didn't mean to click that. I went back out of here. Huh. What am I thinking of then? Maybe it's the handwritten font that has it? I could have sworn there was a coin graphic somewhere. Okay, I don't know. I'm making this up, I guess. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. Oops. Hmm. Indeed. Okay, well, like I said, we could just use the big dot that I saw. Although now I don't remember where it is. There it is. It's a mu symbol. How do we type a mu? Can I do it like this? Nope. Doesn't handle color emojis. It was in Skeleseller main SVG. Skeleseller main. Oh, I opened up the OTF one. Do we use? the OTF one? Skeleseller main.otf. We do. Oh, right. The SVG one just has like 3 glyphs in it, and we don't use that anywhere right now. Okay, got it, got it, got it. Thank you, Quickie Joe. Okay, so let's do that. I should probably write this in here. General notes. The coin graphic is in Skeleseller main-svg.otf. Geometric shapes. Wait, no, this looks like the same one I opened already. Wait a second. So then it's in here and it just doesn't show up. So then I should be able to just double click this in Mac OS and see it. I don't know how to do this. Hang on, is there a way to... Okay, let's look through GitHub because I think it was mentioned there. Hey, Distortion, what am I working on today? We're getting the game ready for Sunday when my friend is going to try it. Actually, this friend played almost exactly 3 months ago. And I think that was just before checkpoint 5. So just to give you an idea of what the game used to look like. If I go here, game out, checkpoint 5. Now, if anyone hasn't seen what the game used to look like, I suggest watching this at least. So the title screen looks, I think, identical. I don't think there's any changes here. But then there are already some changes in the game. The dialogues aren't draggable. The skeleton is walking instead of facing straight. There's text over the signs. This stuff's all mostly the same. The battle map is the old style that we had. The UI here is the old style. This doesn't have the cool background behind it. How much is it going to cost? Probably about $10. So I might price it at like 13 and put it on sale at first. But I expect the average price to be about $10. Because we've spent more than a year making this, and I've dumped a ton of hours into it. And I would just feel remiss if I priced it at like $3 just so it sells a lot of copies. Anyway, this is the version that my friend played. So yeah, a lot of things look a little bit worse. A lot of features are missing. Hey, Jams. So just getting a lot of polishing done. Yeah, polishing, bug fixing, balancing, pacing. It was the Mew symbol only in that. The rest of the font is just an older version of the main font. Oh, so then it's possible that I could see it by looking here. Ah, so that's the coin. Okay, let's try typing that then. Have you tried a default? No, I haven't heard of that. I'm using Godot for this. Okay, so we add in a label and we type in a Mew and it should look like a Mew. Oh boy. I guess it's using the Skeleseller font for this, which is maybe the wrong font for this. So we need to change the font. And now it doesn't even appear at all. Strange. Huh. Time to double that price. 90 bucks. You can buy yourself one Skeleseller. I wonder if this broke when we exported from here again. Because I guess maybe this doesn't do colors. Because we've probably changed this since this came into the code base. Skeleseller SVG. Yeah, this. And yeah, it was me who modified this. So I might have messed something up. The Mew character is a coin in this font. SVG, yeah. Except what's weird here is I didn't modify this. This is the only change we've ever done to this file. Yeah, history. It's just that, huh? Yeah, it might be that it doesn't handle it. Okay, well, that's fine. We're not using the coin right now, but we might want to use it eventually. Apparently, Glypher doesn't handle color emojis well. So it may not render correctly, even in the game, since we exported it. But I tested this at some point, and I remember it rendering. Did I write anything in here about where this came from? Yeah, this. I wonder if I just took this view file, save this. That's 35.7 kilobytes. What is the one that we have? This one, get info. 37 kilobytes? So wait, these are different files? No, this also says 37. What's the exact amount? 36584. 36584. They're probably identical files. If I paste this in here, replace, go over to here. I don't understand. unless, no, let's just commit. Okay, so here's why I'm confused. I'm like 90% sure that at some point I did this exact same thing and saw a coin here. But maybe I only tested it with the skulls. Where are the skulls in here? How do you copy white left pointing small rect or triangle? Is there a way to get that glyph? Seriously, there isn't. Oh, come on. I need that character. I'll just inspect the page. There it is. Okay, I want that. So if I type that triangle into here, it should turn into a skull. Yeah, maybe that's what I tested. All right, well then, what do we do? I guess let's just use the asterisk for now. I think that's fine. And I don't even know what symbol you would want here. Maybe like an up arrow or something. Do I still have the game open? Yeah. Yeah, like what symbol would you want instead of an asterisk to indicate that you have an upgrade that you can get? I'm not sure. Maybe just a proper star. We don't have a star in the font already, do we? No, we've got some shapes. So we could technically draw like a circle. We could draw this circle, in fact. Just a red dot would do. I'm not sure we can use rich text labels, so we might not be able to get them to turn red. Yeah, we could put a dot. Let's see if that's better. Red dot is usually the go-to. I guess it's like the notification icon, right? So let's try plugging this in just to see if this looks slightly better. And then close out of these things. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to close out of that one, just the first one. I thought I had 3 of them open. I only had 2. All right, load game. Oh man, it auto-saved from the old version. It's too bad. Now I got to click a bunch of buttons again. It's not that hard. I just didn't want to do it. There, and there, and there, and there. Okay, now we're going to save this. Yeah, so how's that? It's not red. And I don't think we can make it red. We can try, but as mentioned, I don't think it's going to work. Town perks tab title. Color equals red. I bet it's just a label. What are the odds they made it a rich text label? Maybe an extra space. Yeah, that might look good. Yeah, it's not a rich text label. I feel like we're going to need to make our own tab container. So they have a set title thing, which is where exactly? Here, set tab title. They don't even expose, these might not even be proper labels. Yeah, okay, then for now, let's just do this. Fine. We'll put this suffix in here. And we'll get rid of the color red that I added wherever I put that. Here. Yeah. Hey, how often do people get, this is totally random. I don't know why this crossed my mind. How often do people get food cravings for like a certain kind of dinner food? So not a sweet or a snack, but like I'm craving whatever, spaghetti. Because I find that it's maybe once every week or two for me. Is that like a normal frequency? You don't have to close BB tags if you never plan on changing the color afterward. Approximately 35 minutes ago. What are you craving, a pretzel? A burger, maybe? No, but how often, Leonard? Because the next question I wonder is, does something trigger this craving? Like, is it seeing it on TV, seeing someone else eat it, associating it with a certain memory? Or is it truly just that you're in tune with your taste buds and you know what you want? I am too. Definitely not more than once a month. Interesting. Okay. French fries with some meat combined with loads of mayo. Whatever floats your boat. Burger craving is the most frequent one I get. I think for me, it was Thai food. And then every once in a while, it's a burger. And now, for whatever reason, it's a chicken sandwich with mayo. I don't know why, but I really want one of those. Cravings at least once a month for sure. Interesting. Okay, thanks, chat, for chiming in. I've been enlightened. Yeah, so Dark, check this out. If I type color equals red and turn on BB code, you don't need to close it, but then I won't be able to type in another color. Well, actually, I guess you could. You just type color equals blue, test. Yeah. Do you know people dip fries in mayo until I married a guy from the farmland places? Juice Box Hero, you were describing your husband at some point and you said he's effortlessly masculine. I just love that description. Now that you say he's from the farmland, I'm like, is putting mayo on fries masculine? Are these two things related? The weekends trigger your cravings? Yeah, maybe it's a relaxation thing. All right, so let's test this out one more time. I put a space, but I don't think I ever tested the space, and I think I just overwrote my save file. No, I didn't. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good for now. I think that's good. It's clear, it's visible. Should I link a picture? Yeah, sure. My fiance's out of town for her bachelorette party, so I have the house to myself, which means I get to order the food I really like that she doesn't this weekend. Okay, so my wife has problems with two apps. One is Netflix and the other is DoorDash. Whenever I'm like, okay, what do you want to eat or what do you want to watch? She's like, let me look through the entire app, every single item on the entire app, and then do nothing with that information. So I get you, Chronic, when you say you get to order the food that you want. Think she is paralyzed by indecision. All right, I'm not going to try to pronounce this, but this is exactly what you described. Fries, and I'm guessing that's meat and mayo and ketchup. Doesn't some part of Canada mix mayo and ketchup and put it on their fries a lot? I don't know how common that is. And my husband's out of town, I forget to eat. My wife and I tend to eat very different foods. Yeah. Okay, so we've done this, but there was some reason why I haven't checked this in yet, and I forgot what it was. I guess this we can... So it's currently broken. It doesn't even render correctly in the game. And Glypher doesn't seem to have a way to copy weird glyphs so that you can type them into Godot. I just use inspect element to get the glyph from the span. And then for that, do we have that triangle somewhere? I want to paste in the triangle. Nope. I thought maybe Command Z would give it to me, but it doesn't because I changed the type of the label. All right, well, let's get the triangle. Yeah, that. Does that render correctly? Yeah, it does. Okay. Discovered sweet potato fries with mayo after a local Brazilian spot recommended it once one visit. Fell in love with that. I gave up French fries more than a decade ago. It was one of these arbitrary dietary rules I set for myself. So I haven't had fries in forever, but I did like fries when I was eating them. Okay, so let's check this in. Clarify some font stuff in a README. And this one is, oh yeah. So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to change this whole thing. This is can afford. But basically we say like update and check affordability. And it's only in perks panel tab and tab container controller. Can afford. Okay, so we call this something like update tab affordability. And this returns true if you can afford it. I guess we'll just write that here. Returns true. Are you not going to fill this in for me? Fine. Fine, AI. Make me do things for myself. Regular I. True if you can afford a perk in any tab. Okay, and then we're going to rename this to can afford any perk, and this to be can afford perk in this tree. And then I think we're pretty much good. So this is like set affordability symbol visible. Symbol suffix. Current tab title, if it ends with that. Set equal to this. Kind of weird that they don't use substring for this. I mean, this does work. It's just bizarre. Why do you always make this when mommy is gone? Secret recipe, mac and cheese. Now I'm hungry with no food ready. Depression achieved. We'll recover it shortly by making food. Well, what would it take for you to get that food that you linked right now? Is there a place that ships it or makes it at this time? What time is it for you? 9 p.m. I'm guessing you might be able to get that. It's Friday night. It looks like kind of junk food. I'll eat pizza with friends tomorrow, so I'll limit myself. Okay, that's fair. All right, new food question. Why are rainbow sprinkles the best? They're best on ice cream. They're best on cookies. Add them to spaghetti. Oh, yeah, this is working. Nice. Cool. All right, let's check this in. Indicate perk affordability in the tab titles. There's now I'll just paste the circle symbol that appears in the tab titles when you can afford a perk. Oh, does this save and load correctly? Let's test that out. Let's do that and that. Okay, so only the town tab should have that icon. Yep, it does. Okay. Hey, Alcolin Q, how you doing? It's all about chocolate sprinkles. As long as you like sprinkles, you're a normal person. All right, cool. Yeah, let's check that in. Hey, Wing Out. Are you suggesting I should do macaroni ground beef with rainbow sprinkles? Yes. Yes, obviously. Okay, this is the last thing we need to do here. And then I think we can do a playtest of the game. So when unlocking something with perks, it doesn't highlight the perks button green if you can afford it. So the town menu shows the perks button. Oh, I see how this works. We just call show. We don't modify its modulation. Yes, this is going to be like show perks button or show toggle perks button. And then we, whoops, I probably should replace all those. Show toggle perks button. And then private void show toggle perks. Set that to visible. And then update the affordability thing. Where'd that go? Perks button affordability. Here it is. Easy. Easy. Okay, cool. Good taste in streams. Oh, do go on. Hey, Leftus. And thanks. Yeah, I like the shirt. Not a huge fan of the new shirts that I got. They're not the best. This one is not a new one, though. Old Faithful. Okay, so this is also working. So we need to unlock something that has perks when we have enough money. So just this, for example, and it turns green. And that's because we had enough money. So now we need to do that same thing when we don't have enough money, which I'm not sure is possible. Oh, no, this costs exactly 100. It's possible. Oh, wait, no. Now we don't have the money to buy the town hall. We need to find a way to spend all but 10 of our gold. That's 30 of it. That's 40 of it. Okay, I have an idea. we could have just cheated and done this faster, but we'll spend all of it and then we'll harvest 10 apples. It's foolproof. It's also going to take a long time because I need to wait for 4 cycles of these. There, we're at 6 gold now. This is what we do in the name of testing. All right, now we need 1 more apple. There. All right, perfect. So now when we unlock this, the button should be white. Great. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know. Change starting gold would have been the fast way, the sane way of doing it. Modulate perks button upon unlocking it. Before this, the button would never start out green, even when it should have been. Whoops, I accidentally hit paste. Okay. Yeah, so one of the things I wrote down, where I wrote about the fishing pond. Yeah, here. Should probably unlock after the 3rd boss, so you've had some time to build up the farm. We don't have a 3rd boss. I guess let's just file this as an issue then. Move unlocking the fishing pond so that it's after the 3rd boss. And we'll copy this here. You will have had time to build up the farm quite a lot. We can't ever obsolete the farm since it'll constantly take your workers' time, whether you want it to or not. Because then you'll be getting 25 per fish. We just have to change the fishing pond. Okay, this is related to fish. I don't see it. Oh, come on. Where is it? Yeah, this. 872. Create. Hey, Melmsy. Hope you're doing well. Have a good lurk. I won't try engaging you. As a side note, in general, I've sometimes been to streams where I'm like, okay, I'm going to get going. And then the streamer's like, oh, Adam just sent a message. I'm going to talk to them for 5 minutes. I'm like, I have to leave. So sometimes I just don't chat in streams. Okay, so let's do a quick play test. I say quick because I want to get lunch after this. Oh, and also I have a hard stop at 5 p.m. today. But that's still a long enough time away for now. And let's also write down some things here. I want to see what stands out to me from a new player perspective. So that's the angle we're going to take here. Or maybe not even new player, but returning player who isn't sure what's new in the game. Still worked on getting things ready for Sam on Sunday. All right, let's load up the game. Oh, let's also sync these things. Oh, we should also probably have tips show up, huh? Yeah. All right, well, let's write this down before I forget. So play test to see what would strike me as a new player. Yeah. So let's run this. So we're going to try to make some different decisions from what I normally make in the game and try to keep cheating to a minimum. Boot this up for the first time, you're going to be amazed at how I don't know. It's funny how that happens because I have seen this phenomenon in other people and in other games as well. I got the land for Skelletown, but I need adventurers to do battle for me. If only I had a guild. Oh yeah, let's turn on the music and everything. All right, once you hire adventurers. So there's no closing this. And they might move this around a lot. I guess they could use the buildings thing to do this. Center the camera on this, yeah. All right, we got our guild master now. And I don't think anything tells you to click this character. If you didn't, yeah, I guess you wouldn't know what to do. I've never seen anyone get stuck at this point in the game, though. All right, so we pick an adventurer. We got the descriptions there. Let's go with the mage this time. All right, so now you have an adventurer, send them to a battle. Yeah, quick start battle here. All right. What was that? Something weird happened, right? It was right at the end of the battle. I'm going to go frame by frame if we need to. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, that. Look at that. For one frame, it shows the dialogue down here and then moves it up to the top. That's not good. Huh. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of this. Did that take a picture? Yeah. Okay, let's go file an issue now. Dialogues appear in a seemingly random spot on the screen before moving. I was testing the game from the very beginning and had the dialogues positioned in the middle of the screen. But when winning my first battle, it showed at the bottom of the screen. It moved after a single frame to where it belonged. How about using generic objects to start my game and see how it goes? Focus on logic. I think it all depends on what you want to test. If you want to see if your game is fun, then I think gameplay is probably the most important part of that. But the difficult thing about games is that you're taking in the whole experience at once. So you are considering art and music and sound effects and polish and animations and the gameplay itself and the story and how it's all presented to you and how you learn those things. But yeah, generally, if you're making some like interesting mechanic, I think testing the mechanic first is good. Okay, so let's create that. But ignoring that, so we won the battle. I'm going to start this so I don't have to wait as long. But the player wouldn't know what to do here. So they build this like the game tells you. They get their shop. They probably click this. Thanks for hiring me. I've always wanted to work in a shop like this, and I don't even need to stock my own goods. Yeah, except for you're going to stand there for eternity, blinking once every some number of frames. You have an adventurer, a shop, and some customers. Keep battling, selling, and building to grow Skelletown. I will. Thank you, game. trying to consider all that. I just don't know if this is even something I'll really enjoy. Don't want to. Oh yeah, no, I agree. But that's what I was saying. I think it depends on what you're testing exactly. So if it's testing, does the art style look good? Then I mean, you don't even really need gameplay. You can kind of just throw some graphics onto a screen and see if you like how your art and your shaders and everything else looks. But yeah, if is it fun, then I think gameplay probably matters the most. And if it's, am I having fun doing this, then it's just whatever you want to work on. Yeah, that bonk button is already filed. This should have hidden itself. Maybe it's only after you do 3 battles? Ooh. Yeah, I don't know why that hasn't turned itself off yet. Hope I didn't break something. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Any new games you're looking forward to play? The Nintendo Switch 2 has Kirby Air Riders coming out at some point. I loved Kirby Air Ride. What a good game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The new DK game looks good too. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Other than that, I don't think there's anything on my radar. Yeah, I tried that Inzoi game. I ended up refunding it. It seemed very similar to Sims 4, and it didn't have a lot of content yet. Okay, so at this point in the game, a new player is going to see a whole lot of options. And this is one of them, and I still want to get rid of this. So I think this is something we got to figure out, but maybe not today. I don't like how we upgrade shops, right? Well, I don't know if I don't like how we upgrade shops. I don't like that we show the potion shop upgrade at the beginning of the game. It's mostly a red herring. Yeah. Night Rain. What is this? Oh, it's co-op action survival game. Wow. That is pretty interesting. Yeah. That sounds good. Elden Ring is coming to the Switch too, I think. All right, let's turn on auto battle. Oh, I probably should have slowed down a little bit there. All right, so I might be like, what else do we have here? I would not see this debug button. It says reach level 2 to unlock your skills. It doesn't tell me how to reach level 2. And this kind of does. It says by eating wisdom sludge, but maybe in parentheses we should say this requires the farm. I actually had thought about this with a different thing. Reach level 2. Yeah. Should we make it conditional? If you haven't beaten the ogre, it says you must defeat the ogre before being able to unlock your skills. If you've beaten the ogre but don't have a farm, it says you need to farm, and then it says you need to reach level 2. I think this is a good change to make. Okay. So we should probably be... Oops. No. It disappeared. I needed that. So this is another thing. We see some perks here, and we see this costs 50. So we might think this is worth buying, but it's probably not actually worth buying. Had to play it seamless co-op with my brother. Couldn't keep me in the game otherwise. Wait, what? Did Elden Ring have co-op? Seamless co-op. What is this? Oh, it's a mod. Oh, I see. Hey, Bogdy. Okay, so this was another thought from a while ago. I think the garbage slime is kind of weirdly positioned right now. Not physically, but in terms of game mechanics. It's meant to be kind of a trash for your items. But you don't get a whole lot of items at first. Well, now I can hire another adventurer. So now this will give us more. And let's send the rogue there. So it should probably give you a little more than what it currently gives you for an item. Like this potion's worth 3, and this can give you a maximum of 4 gold. I think it's 120% of whatever the item is worth. No, that doesn't make any sense. 140%? I think it's 140%. which I guess for low value items is not very interesting. But yeah, I wonder if we should make it so that at max hunger it gives you even more. Have I used ECS? Yeah. We rolled our own entity component system for this. Should we rebalance that? I think we have an issue somewhere. Let me look at the issues. Slime. Is it this? No. Where did we write this? Is it here? It might be in here. Think of when you want people to auto-eat items, etc. I don't know. I thought... Huh. Maybe I don't have it written down. No, I don't think I do. Well, consider making the garbage slime offer even more money, but maybe take longer to get fully hungry. It'll feel more like a reward that way. Okay, here. All right, we have enough money to go beat the next boss, so we should go do that. Then we go fight over here. Slowpoke customers. Spend some money. Nice. Should be pretty close to end map. I'm not sure what that question is about. Sorry. Are we talking about Skeleseller? Because if so, I still don't totally get it. You defeated the ogre. Some new buildings are available, and you can also fight in the volcano. So at that point, it might be like volcano, and sure enough, there it is. And I might go fight there. I might say too powerful. Oh, let me turn off my keyboard camera so we can actually see this. Yeah, so there's no way you can beat this, I'm pretty sure. Well, it's not technically true. I guess there is some combination of RNG that'll let you beat this, but it's incredibly unlikely. Yeah, like all three bats were still alive there. So you would conclude that you... Is that zooming in every time? No. Had I zoomed in? Huh. I don't know if that was a bug or not. Okay, let's start another couple battles. We have a lot of money. The way to level up is to build the farm, but maybe I don't realize that that's a way to level up, and maybe I build the tavern first, which costs 50 gold. Lets you complete other skeletons' quests in exchange for their services. Alright, so I build the tavern first, which is kind of just a mistake. And it lets me get another worker. I mean, I don't know if this will frustrate players. If they built this first and they were like, oh my god, this existed? You can see in the buildings thing that it exists. Oh, a warehouse might be nice too. Hey, Broken Crown. First quest is easy. Yeah, that's true. And I guess you can't really get the next quest done without getting the farm first. Although you might waste another 22 small blue potions doing it. Maybe as a result, we should have this taken something from the second instance. In fact, that's probably a good idea. To prevent people from spending all of their items on quests, we should have the second quest require something from the volcano. Something exclusive to the volcano. That way, you have to get the farm first to complete it. Because right now, what this is saying, 22 blue potions, that's worth minimally 66 gold. We could potentially have it be worth 88 gold or even more in other cases. But that 66 gold you're not getting. And you desperately need the money at the beginning. So, yeah, there's no way to turn off quest turn-ins either. All right, so we build the farm. And we're like, what in the world is this stuff? And we, I guess, maybe see this character. Maybe not. But this one probably stands out more. Hi, I'm a slime. I love to cook. I'm really bad at it. Bring me food and I will cook it. Use the resulting wisdom sludge to grow more powerful. And I click this character. I'll tell you how your farm works. Drop potions into the extractor near me to extract seeds and plant them on your farm. When a crop is fully grown, click it to harvest it. The chef slime will then cook it for you. Okay. He bought the farm. He jumped the shark. So I can hire another adventurer now. We should almost certainly get the witch doctor. We still haven't even gone to battle in the volcano yet. And there's not much of a reason to do that. Because we're probably getting pretty decent money by doing this. How do we extract seeds from the potion? With the extractor. Good. First time seeing Chef Slime? Yeah. I love this little guy. And his fiery dialogue panel that we have. The portrait absorbs clicks. I only just realized that. Huh. We should probably fix that. Minor bug. Can't drag a dialogue box by the portrait. Okay, what if this upgrade, seek food, the first level cost less? That's probably more interesting. Slime's seek food upgrade should probably cost less for the first level. Maybe even like 25 gold. Did I hire the new adventurer and never use them? Yeah, I did never use them. All right, let's throw them all into a battle and see what happens. Can they beat this? Yes, they can. Okay, yeah. And then I get a cloak, which I can't actually sell because I don't have an armor shop. But we can do that. And now this should go away. Good. What does the angry slime do? So this takes food and turns it into wisdom sludge, which you then spend on leveling up. So I can level up. Let's level up the witch doctor first. Let's get their first skill, lethality. So now poison does 25% more damage. I guess that's good. Like a C-sharp joke. We'll just never stop. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to act like I don't know the farm is the most important thing in the game and upgrade something else. So let's go upgrade the... Get shiny loot. Actually, a lot of people do this. So this is like what real players do. And then we're probably going to need an item shop. And then we need some potions over there. Yeah, we have 2 workers. But we can't get a third anyway until we beat the next location. Oh, they still didn't get their potion. Get it. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Yeah. Alright, what other perks can I get? I could benefit from having more customers. But I guess maybe the slime should get hungrier slower. Yeah, I think this is important. Customers don't matter too much at the beginning of the game when you use the slime for everything. And this way the perks will matter more. Hey, Bohem, thank you. Did that guy buy a potion for 4 gold and then tip 12? Yes. Tips are wild in this game. Alright, the next adventurer is... Oh, they're 150. Never mind. Gotta get into potion selling. You do. Alright, so should we upgrade the slime perks? Not really, actually. I kind of want to be able to get 1 level of this earlier than we can. I feel like 100 is like a mid-game cost right now. Alright, I'm gonna get one of these. Let's see. Now I gotta actually use the slime. We should also probably level up other adventurers here, huh? We can't afford... we can't afford the skill for them. Yeah, I think this is a little bit slower paced at this point in the game. Oops, I didn't mean to grab that. I want the cloak. Critical eat. Nice. Nice. Yeah. So, gating the town perks I think would be really good. So you don't have like 7 of these things you can get. Alright, we should probably work toward the next adventurer now. I'm gonna bail out of this fight. We're gonna just send them all to the forest. And this will give us way too many potions. Yeah, the slimes are wonderful. I feel like we should add a third one at some point. Maybe one that's blue. Although I don't know what it would do. I guess we can start putting some potions toward this too. But we won't get the boots yet. Yeah, all we're getting is potions here. Should I level up one of these adventurer's skills? I want another adventurer. Oh, a critical eat. A yum! That's a rare message that shows up. We also have a Mr. Halsey message in there. Epic consumption. Yeah, that feels pretty good. We can almost afford the new adventurer, but what if we went for the farm? The farm is still doing stuff. It's just giving us sludge very slowly. Because I think a carrot takes like 40 seconds. We can plant 4 at once. So it's like once every 10 seconds we're getting 2 food. So to get 50 means it's 500 seconds, which is almost 10 minutes. That is quite a lot. That's for 1 level up. So why you should upgrade the farm. Spawn slimes that eat up item on the ground before you can sell them. I wanted to be careful not to have like negatives you got to deal with. Especially because a lot of people play this game idly. I kind of want there to be some way to click a crop to water it or make it grow a little faster. Alright, we want this thing to get hungrier faster, but I can finally afford the other adventurer, so let's get it. So now that we have the archer, we can ditch these battles and put them all into... Oh, I don't have enough money for it. Okay, fine. Put them all into this battle then. Look at all those potions. One per day. A little heart appears and it gives it to a small growth boost each day. Gives it a small growth boost each day. So what I was thinking is you'd have like a watering can graphic or something here. But I'm not sure what the restrictions would be around this. Like, are people just going to constantly click these things? Is that fun? We should probably introduce the foraging stuff too at some point. Probably introduce foraging perks at some point. Okay, so... Oh, we're getting way too many items. Do that, and that. I like this. Nice, Red Karsh. And I hope you try this and find it fun. Item stacking would be really helpful. We can't afford that now, though. Yeah, so really the farm is the bottleneck. There's kind of no other way to play. That's a little bit of a shame. I guess you could improve your town throughput even more. Like, we could add another customer. Yeah, let's try that. I'm still trying to avoid the way I always play. I think it is probably the best. Alright, stealth lasts for 5 seconds instead of 3. So I will always have a 20% power bonus now. No, not always. Not at the beginning of the battle. Yeah, we need more customers. Here they are. Buy stuff. Yeah, nice. Why did that happen? Huh. Alright, I can afford a perk. We can get adventurers moving faster and workers moving faster. Slime gets hungrier faster. Let's get this one. Might as well. 40% faster. I guess that combined with critical eating is kind of interesting. In fact, that is probably how we should position the slime then. We should probably say, like, that's what you spend some of the early game money on. Because otherwise, you're probably just not using this later in the game. This is automatically eating. Yeah, I like that idea. The slime's upgrade should almost certainly be way cheaper, since it's one of the only things you can interact with in the beginning of the game. And that way, it'll feel like it pays off over the course of the game. Yeah, this is something we got to put up here. Tower defense minigame in bottom is built into this game. Yeah, that's a battle system for this game. So the way this works is you're hiring adventurers, and they all have skills that they automatically use, and you can choose how to level them up. So like here, we can unlock a skill. We only have this one choice right now, so that's my choice that I'm spending it on. But now the mage will shoot more lightning bolts, and we can pick what parties are in these battles. We can choose how we want to split them up. So you could say like, okay, the mage should go to the forest, and the rest of these characters should go to the volcano. So I have 2 battles going on at once now, and they're earning these items, which I then sell in my town. So I have a lot of stuff to do in my town now. And we can level up another adventurer. So let's get the mage one more level. Playtesting does seem fun. And I'm enjoying doing it now. Yeah, we don't have enough for this. Yeah, this is where I want to cheat in some money and upgrade these things. Let's get that. So now it'll automatically eat an item off the ground without me having to click it. Yeah. Do the locations have certain mob types? No, that's only for bosses. So the next boss, for example, is the dragon, and it uses an AoE fire effect, which makes it pretty good against the witch doctor, but the game doesn't explicitly tell you that. So there is a better party composition for that battle. And then future boss fights, we're probably going to make some like very restrictive constraints. So imagine something like you can only deal 1 damage at a time to this. That's something where it's like, oh wow, how should I form my party so that this battle will actually work? Maybe you need more defensive characters for that, or more healing, or just faster attacks for that. Let's take this out of the battle. Death is not permanent in this game, no. Play testing and forgetting to actually test things, so you just end up playing the game. Well, we have tested some stuff. I've already got some feedback there, which is good. Next thing I want to see is, can I beat the next location? So let's upgrade the portal. We now have the jungle unlocked. And we have level 3, 2, 2, and 1. I think we're going to die. Yes, definitely. It's not a definite, but I see the rogue over there about to pass out. They haven't been targeted though. Oh, because they have permanent stealth on now, which is only a 5% dodge chance, but oh, that looks like they're gonna win. I don't know if they should have won. I guess when you throw in 4 adventurers at once, it's fine. Well, so much more, yes, definitely. And this is all with a very, very tiny farm that we have. That skills cost quite a lot. It says level 2. I mean, I guess it kind of is level 2, huh? But there are just a lot of adventurers, or a lot of enemies. Yeah, I think this is okay. All right, we got to upgrade the farm. There's no ignoring it. I guess the only other thing we could try is upgrading the portal to get to the crypt, and then try battling here. But I already know we're going to lose that. And then at that point, we're going to need the farm. So might as well do this. We have all 4 adventurers there. If we took one out, could we still win? I'll try that next. I can afford a skill on this character. What if I couldn't afford this skill? Would that still be green? I'm going to upgrade the farm. Yeah, it would still be green. We just can't afford this. It's probably gonna feel weird. The adventurer's button turns green when you have an unspent skill point, even if you can't afford to buy a skill. I might want to change that. Get some food. Oh, congrats on the house. Nice. Really buried the lead there. I was gonna congratulate you on the food. Yeah, that's great. I'd love to hear more. Okay, that happened. Okay, I see what's happening. When you click an item that's on top of the slime, it engages the dialogue. That's a problem. Bug. Click an item on the ground to pick it up. Then click the garbage slime, but where another item is already overlapping with it. On the ground is already overlapping. It will open the slime's dialogue. Had less time to ruminate on a house. I want to buy a new t-shirt. Did you feel like there was a rush? Quest completed. Nice. We got another skeleton. Oh, I want to customize the skeleton graphics. Customize the skeleton graphics so only the first one looks special. That shouldn't be that hard to do. In fact, I want to put this up here. Mostly moving to pending within 5 days. My goodness. Wonder how many people are buying it to live in versus buying it as an investment. I haven't upgraded any of these shops. It's not that you can't, and maybe I should let the player decide that. It all depends on my throughput. I don't have a lot of throughput right now. I probably need another customer. Let's get another customer. Let's make him move a little bit faster. All right. I need to focus on the farm. And I don't think we can take an adventure out of here, but I want to try that. If we just get rid of the archer, let's say. Can they beat this? Hardworking adventurers needs to cost less. Cost 50 or 75. Maybe 50. Yeah, 50 is good. Are they winning this? I don't know yet. Yes, they are. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, that means that the archer can go somewhere else. I kind of want to get this, but it's so expensive and it's not worth it at all. We need to change the cost of these things. It's just unfair right now. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy those things. I'm boycotting it. I want to upgrade this. Yeah, nice. Now our farm can get more food. Let's get an archer going to here. Oh, do they not always win? It's gonna be close. Yeah, they're barely gonna win. These zombies are overpowered. Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. So, can I go fight the crypt? I need 18 more sludge for this and 75 gold, and then 100 for the portal. I guess upgrading the crops would be good. Like a 25% boost to the food. Trying to figure out if buying my first house is a smart financial decision or the stupidest thing I've ever done. Yeah. Well, housing is another speculative market. Possible it tanks at some point in the future. possible you want what you get out of having a house, typically a yard, the ability to customize your place. Oh, we gotta upgrade this. Yeah, rapid shot. You'll die in your starter house. Hey, you never know. Security consulting can really pay off. Alright, I'm bailing out of this battle next, and we're going to try to fight the boss. This has been fun, though, and it's nice to see the decisions sort of pay off here. It's mostly what are you choosing to buy, but it's not like you're getting so many things so quickly, and there's still stuff to watch. Okay, so we'll try sending them into battle. Let's change the party around. Let's do this. Oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, well. Can we afford it if I do this? No. Yeah. No, we can't. I think if the worker is going toward a crop, they should probably commit to going toward a crop. Okay, now we can afford the portal. Well, we will be able to right now. Cool. So battle map, buy it. Let's get one last upgrade for the archer. And let's try fighting there. All right, can you do it? Can you do it with your terrible level 1 skills? I don't know, but I don't think so. Oh, poor archer. You can almost win, but not quite. Oh. That's what, like 10% life remaining? They could probably just do it if they try again. Alright, I'm not going to wait for this. We're going to speed this up. But I am going to try one more time. So that was a tiny bit of cheating there. The archer mostly got targeted. The longer the archer goes without getting hit, the more the faster they'll attack. So this might all come down to, is the mage getting mental swiftness and is the archer not getting hit? And the archer's dead now, so I don't know, but we might win this because, oh, never mind. As I say, the rogue can execute enemies. This is so close. Anyway, one level up should do it. We don't have enough for one level up. And now we don't have any items. I really should have been getting stuff. Okay, fine. Let's go over here and get a couple of items. I'll speed this up too a little bit. All right, there, but no more than that. Now we'll plant some crops. That'll give us what? 15 times 2, 30. That's enough to level up one more time. Yeah. Now we'll just cheat a tiny bit more. Get our crops to grow faster. There. Now harvest them all. And now level up which character? Let's go for the rogue. So now they can stack 2 different cloaks of shadows here, and that'll give them 40% power and 10% dodge. They're guaranteed to win. Guaranteed, I tell you. Hey, potato. All right, so the rogue can use Cloak of Shadows now and have it stacked twice. So there's the first stack. And there's the second stack. So for 2 seconds after that second usage, it does even more damage. And yeah, it looks like that's all it took. It's amazing how much one level can make a difference. The dragon will be missed at the next Skeleton barbecue. Okay. Congratulations, you being the dragon, blah, blah, blah. I know what that says already. Let's build our weapon shop. And now we can get the fishing pond, another quest, the vault, the warehouse. We've probably gotten the warehouse already. I always skip this for some reason. Let's see if we can go to the next location. I feel like you should not be able to beat the next location immediately. But I guess by throwing in an extra adventurer, you can. Or maybe you can't. This is a two-phase battle. I don't know. It is pretty close. Yeah, because now they have wave 2. Ah, there goes the archer. There goes the witch doctor. There goes the rogue. I think this is over. Yep, that's over. Okay, let's send him back to here. I have no items. That's another thing I kind of want to, well, fix, quote unquote fix. I want there to be some other way of producing items, but you'll eventually have more adventurers, and you probably won't ever not be battling. Let's get the fishing pond. And we'll get another adventurer soon. Hey, Brom. Yeah, they won that. Where did the other items? Oh, they're up here. I'm like, we should have gotten more items. All right, nice. Next adventurer is 400. Yeah, let's get the next adventurer. Fish for a little bit. I think the fishing pond is poorly balanced right now. Yeah. Still need to think about what we want to do for that. Whoa, what? Oh, I was like, why'd they drop off that many potions? But I guess it's because of the fishing pond. Let's turn this off. Also should have gotten more crops soon. Oh, man. So many things to get. This is what's good about the game, though. I think every time you look at something and you're like, oh, I can upgrade this, but I need the money for something else. I think that's a good thing about this game. It shouldn't be that every decision is so straightforward that there's always a best choice. All right. Yeah, so I need to battle over here, and I'm not going to get the money for that anytime soon, so let's just turn off auto battle. And I'll just start a new one with, let's say, these 2 characters over at the fishing pond. Actually, it could just be all of them. Who cares? Yeah. So now I can fight the 3 fish. And eventually get some nice wisdom sludge doing it. Yeah. 25 per fish. Take that. Oops. I zoomed in too much. Alright, so now I could level up again. But who do we pick? I guess the mage. Yeah. Hey, Em, how's it going? Since the perk tab has that indicator now, should we also show the indicator in the main tabs when any of the perks ones has it? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll write that down. I guess we kind of do over here. We have this thing get highlighted. Oh, yeah, we could do that. M is everywhere. I think M is trying to gain moderator privileges in every channel. Take over all of the sovereign game dev streams. Working on the song for my game. Next song for my game. Always hard to know what comes next. Yeah, it is, right? And it's always like, oh, I ran out of ideas. And then you wait a little bit longer and eventually something comes to your mind. I look forward to hearing it. I've been working on the melody for the next tune for this game. And it's okay so far. Should probably play it at some point and ask what you think. Oh, did you hear the Skeleseller rap? That goes for everyone in this stream, by the way. If you haven't seen this, this was my April Fool's thing for this year. No. I would say you're in for a treat, but my singing voice is terrible. I guess we can level this up too. Watching now? Yeah. Took me a lot of time to make. I wonder how many people are going to invest in some of these other skills to see what else they can get. They might not like that mechanic. So pay attention to feedback for that. Was ChatGPT used? No. I spent a long time coming up with the lyrics myself. And I'm happy with how they turned out. Wow, Armor Shop has way too much stuff up there. Maybe we should just let the slime eat items from your shop. It's amazing. I hesitate to say amazing, but thank you. Did I miss it? No, it wasn't streamed. It's just that YouTube video in chat. So if you just click the last link that you see in chat, it's that. How many wish lists for a live rendition? I don't think I'm going to do that. All right, we can finally get another adventurer. Let's go for the warrior, and then let's send him into the pond. They are going to do almost 0 damage. Oh, we can level them up first. There. Now they'll do slightly more. There actually is a way of setting up like collective goals across many users for channel points. But no, I don't plan on doing that. Whoa, 34 gold. Critical eating's pretty good. Huh. Should probably invest in this a little bit more. We should also probably improve the farm. Jeez, this thing is terrible. Come on. Wow, the warrior, I don't even think it's killed a single fish over here. They're so bad. And now that there are more fish being put in, they won't be able to kill them all anyway. This is genius marketing. It wasn't really intended to be marketing. I think it'll turn into an Easter egg in the game at some point. Like, maybe if you stay on the credit screen for long enough, it'll play. Or maybe if you beat the game, then a new button will show up on the title screen. Like, tell me the story in song form. Have a tiny, tiny chance for the music loop to turn into its rap. Yeah, maybe after it's played enough times, like maybe it's looped through all the music tracks like twice. It could play once and only once per save. You know, I'm gonna write that down. It's interesting, but it would only work on the English version of the game. I like the idea though. Maybe we allow it once per save file and only after like 60 minutes of playing and only on the English version of the game. Yeah. Like the poison arc. It is the story of Skeleseller, by the way. Like, that is what happens in the game. You got poisoned and died. And that's why the tavern tells you quests about people who died as well. Because these also turned into skeletons, but they just didn't start a town. Alright, I'm waiting for the stupid warrior to finish this. The warrior is actually super powerful when you upgrade them. But at level 1 and 2, they're bad. Very bad. Look at this stupid idiot. 24 damage. Miss. Yeah, they're about to win. Thank goodness. And then we don't have to send them there ever again. Come on. Kill the last fish. There. Oh, he's done. We can repopulate these things. Hey, banana. Time to localize the rap. Do you know how hard that would be? Hey, Zay. All right, this has been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying playtesting the game now because I feel like we have enough stuff that I'm actually just enjoying it and not like there's a million bugs. There are some rougher edges that we still need to deal with. But we've got a bunch of things we can do for this afternoon now. I have a banana and a potato in chat. Yeah, we've had Blueberry King. We have Jedi Potato, Potato and Pants. We had a bunch of other food names. I can't remember now. There was someone else in the fruit crew. I don't remember even the fruit. Yeah, this is shaping up to be pretty cool. So the general goal, obviously what I'm doing for the next demo is like, let's get it balanced, let's get it a little bit more polished. But after that, it's probably going to be stretch out the content a bit. So right now, here's our entire map that we have. Probably going to add more locations, more adventurers, more items. But probably not, and maybe some more perks. But yeah, probably not any more systems, I think. Oh, I forgot to unlock Enchanter. I guess the Enchanter. Did that even make a sound? I don't think the Enchanter makes a sound when you purchase the den. Took it as a prisoner. Hey, Boomer. Welcome in. Yeah, I don't think that made a sound here. Yeah, things are looking pretty good. We should probably make our adventurers act as workers now too. Let's go get that. Oh, item stacking. I gotta get that. Man, I keep saying like I should go get lunch, and I'm still thinking, how do I play the game some more? All right, let's take these out of battle. Now they'll all go move stuff around town. They're getting crops instead. Yeah. Oh, that's a bug. When workers walk up with an item, they render in the wrong order. Oh, because they don't have hands. That's why. Oh, adventurers don't have hands, so we don't do the special rendering order. Yeah. Alright, that's a small bug. Well, adventurers don't have special hands. That probably sounded really stupid, but the workers have a separate hand graphic, so they look like they're carrying items, but I didn't want to do that for every adventure. Allergic to bananas. Man. What am I building this in? This is in Godot. And with C#. What is this? What is this badge people have in chat? Gone bananas? Oh, I could just click it, right? This gilded banana badge was scored by sharing a lulz-worthy clip during April Fool's Week. Not the golden banana. Didn't Donkey Kong 64 have golden banana? Yeah, I like Godot a lot. By the way, if you're using Godot 2, you might be interested. I've got a bunch of notes. I'll just link the notes website, I guess. But if you just search for Godot on here, you'll find a bunch of them. I just took some yesterday that quite vexed me for many, many hours. This stuff. Sub-viewport usage and blurriness. We drastically improved the quality of the game by rendering a larger scale. The old graphics are on the left and the new ones are on the right. And it looks so much better there. It's so much crisper. Same thing with the battles. The text got crisper. The icons got better. Share the wrap? Wait, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it still is April Fool's Week. I was going to say, isn't it too late? Then you need to do the wrap? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Share a clip on Twitch to get the golden banana badge. All right, I gotta get food. It is 12:06. So I'm gonna take about an hour for lunch. And then when we get back, we're gonna tackle this entire list of stuff. Whatever we can get done with. I have a hard stop at 5 p.m. I don't think we're gonna stream for 5 hours anyway. Or 4 hours, I guess, anyway. But still, I'll probably stream for another 200 or 300. Oh, thanks, Boomer. Wow, that was a very fast first chat to first cheer. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I will be back in about an hour, as I mentioned. And if you liked the idea of the game that you just saw, please do wishlist it. What you're seeing me play now will be publicly available for free in about a week, I would guess. But it'll be as a demo, excuse me. So at some point, it's going to be a paid game. But yeah, while it's in demo form, pretty much everything you see there will be free. All right, thanks again. I will see you all soon. Goodbye.